Yep.
All right, that's that. We're live.
All
Pretty
right.
sure, anyway.
Um, yeah, we
Open
should
YouTube
be.
myself and see. Beautiful. It's beautiful.
There we go.
I've never seen
Nice.
anything better than that.
All right. Now let's do our promotions. Um, and I are live. Boom. Um, Sewed.
All right.
And chess dot. Oh, new post from Lightning. Nice.
Meh.
You just post that? I
About
guess it
an
was like.
hour ago, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more than that. Because I was trying to wrap that up before going live tonight, so I didn't have to
Oh,
put it off for tomorrow. I meant to
yeah.
finish that
Oh, Queen
yesterday,
takes
actually.
F7. Queen takes F7's wild,
Right.
actually. Wow.
Oh man, if you go through
Yeah.
and see the game, it didn't start with Queen takes f7. It was a longer calculation that led up to it. It was brutal.
Ah, yeah, I got you. That's fun.
It wasn't. I was not on the winning side of that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It would actually be interesting if we got even some obscure NFL player to play chess with us. That
oh
would
that
be
would be
cool.
so cool. Especially, I mean,
Yeah,
obscure is fine, but if we could get someone big name, that would be so cool. Let's get Larry Fitzgerald.
that would be.
Low key
Yeah,
though, if we could, because they do that Blitz Champs event on chess.com, we just gotta figure out how we can coach them for free. That's how
I
we get
know.
in.
That would be sick.
I mean, I'd do it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, totally. Just coach a legend.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
My payment is I get to talk
right.
to Larry Fitzgerald.
Exactly. I mean, that's the acceptable form of payment.
It's so weird that chess and football could be connected at all, though, to be honest. So weird.
I know.
What a
Yes.
wild
I
reality
feel
we're in.
totally. I'm just gonna open this on my phone just so I can open chat.
Good idea, good idea.
Yep.
And
Says
well,
there's
I'll have my
one
phone
viewer, but
ready in
probably
case someone's in chat and I want to be able to type stuff out. Oh wait, actually,
great.
it looks like I'm logged in on OBS. Actually could chat from OBS. That's hang on, let me see.
Oh, that's funny. That's cool.
Oh,
There we
sweet.
go.
Okay, I can chat. All right, who needs a phone
Nice.
anyway then?
Who needs a phone? That's a
All
good
right,
point. All right.
let's do it, man. Let's do this. I'm
All
ready
right.
when you are.
Let's do it. Ready?
Oh
All
yeah,
right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome everyone to another episode of Football for Fun. I am Depressed, the Texans fan.
I am delusional, the Panthers fan, and boy, it is good to be back at football for fun. It has been a very long absence. I don't know. It's been what, a couple weeks, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. Was supposed to be a longer absence, but due to personal stuff, I guess you could say, you're back, and
Yeah.
obviously wishing you the best in that regard. But glad to have you back. How have you been?
I've been better than you would think, but I'm happy I get to talk football. Honestly, that was something I was gonna miss this summer, and now I don't have to miss out on that. So I look forward to talking football all summer. Football for fun. The off season is boring, so we'll get through it together, and then we got the regular season, which I'm sure I'll suffer somehow, but at least I'll get to witness it.
Yeah, at least you'll get to witness it. You'll get to witness the start of the season. You'll get to play fantasy football, which will be fun. I'm sure we'll have a blast on Football for Fun, talking about fantasy football
Oh
and like
man.
college football, just things like that.
Oh
Just so
yeah,
much to look
we are
forward
gonna
to.
cover a lot. I don't know if it's been revealed yet, but I am intending to cover college football for anyone in our audience who's interested, because that's something that interests me. And we are football for fun. We aren't NFL for fun. We can do both if we want
True.
to. So we're not limited in that regard. So I definitely intend to cover some college football when the time comes. So be on the lookout for that, anyone who's watching. And if you come back and watch this later, comment college football if you're seeing this.
Yes. I would do the same, but I'm not, probably not as knowledgeable on college football. I'd just be like, why does Baylor suck all the time? Why are we losing to like Hail Mary, Shadur Sanders? Like, come on. But
I'm gonna be saying
anyway,
Georgia sucks every week, and people are gonna get so sick of it. We're gonna be like 11-1, and I'm gonna be like, we suck.
yeah, I can imagine. All right. Well, welcome back to Football for Fun. It is good to have you back. We've had a few topics since, we last were on together. Nothing too substantial. Just like some little topics here and there. I'd say even the big topic was one that we already kind of knew was coming, so we didn't really have like as developed thoughts. It was just kind of cool that it happened, which is that Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers. Also, are you recording?
Actually, I was recording, but let me stop the recording and then start
Oh,
again.
I mean you don't have to stop it.
Yeah, that way we
I
get the
could edit it.
intro out. Here, I'm starting now. So,
I could
Aaron
just edit
Rodgers
it
to
out.
the
It's all fine.
Steelers is what we're going to be talking about. Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers,
Yes.
man.
So Aaron Rodgers did sign with the Steelers. I believe it's like 1 year, like 13 million with or something like that with like bonuses, incentives, whatever. Obviously it's been discussed on this channel. I had a video and a short out, I believe, and so it is old news for all we know since we kind of knew it was going to happen. It for some reason it took him a while to sort of I guess put the pen to paper, but what are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers? Since I don't think we have those documented necessarily.
Yeah, no, I've got some thoughts. First of all, I don't think it really changes much in the grand scheme of things. I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is going to revert back to his MVP form and suddenly the Steelers can win a playoff game. Maybe they will, I don't know, but my guess is they'll be mediocre once again. It's definitely good for the Steelers because Rodgers was easily their best option out there unless they wanted to go for Kirk Cousins, the more expensive option. But they got Rodgers for cheap, and they'll be mediocre probably this year. I am worried long term that they don't have much of a plan behind Rodgers. I'm not really sure what they're going to do next year. Maybe they'll draft somebody in the first round. But I don't know. I think short term it's the smart move. Long term, I really don't know what they're doing in Pittsburgh. And as for Rodgers taking so long, I've been in the minority this whole time. Like I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. He's busy. It's a big decision to make. Let him take his time. I know it annoyed a lot of people, but it's his decision, right? And it seems like he got married at some point this offseason. So that's kind of a big deal. Pretty important. Pretty good reason to take your time making a decision about your career. And he's had some other personal stuff that we don't really know about yet. So I would say to all the haters, like, just chill a little bit. He went to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh believed he was coming the whole time, which respect to them for never wavering in that belief. I don't know. I think it worked out about as well as all sides could hope, but long term, I still don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you there. I think it is kind of strange to think that I think a lot of people were thinking that whether the Steelers were rolling out Aaron Rodgers or Mason Rudolph, that they're probably going to go 9-8 and get bounced in the wild card or miss the playoffs. I think it was funny. I'm pretty sure like the Steelers Super Bowl odds or whatever like didn't budge when Rodgers joined.
That's
Now that
wild.
might have been because the odds were factoring in the assumption that Aaron Rodgers was gonna join. So I don't think it necessarily means that like I think Aaron Rodgers is miles and away better than Mason Rudolph, but I do think it is kind of funny that a lot of people didn't think that would necessarily change things. But yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I do think for now it's a decent solution. If some of you didn't see my quarterback rankings videos, y'all should check it out. But I had Rodgers ranked as the 17th best quarterback in the league, and this is these were like factoring in sort of like basically this season who would I want as my starting quarterback, not like for like one game or like 5 years down the line. Obviously, if it's 5 years down the line, then there are many guys I'd rather have than Rodgers, right? But Um, right now, I had Rodgers as the 17th best quarterback, or the 17th quarterback I would most desire to have, and I think the Steelers get the 17th best quarterback in the league. Like, get that type of production, then they're gonna be, they'll be in a pretty decent shape. Not necessarily to make a Super Bowl run, but they should be able to win 9, 10 games, play
Right.
some defense. He can make some connections to DK Metcalf, and run the ball, and yeah,
I
just
mean, look
kind
at
of
look at
like.
what they've done with what we presume to be less over the past few years. They had Justin Fields, they had Russell Wilson. Who did they have before Russ? I don't honestly.
Kenny Pickett?
It was Pickett, right? Okay, they went to the playoffs with Kenny Pickett, and you think that they're gonna be worse with Rodgers? I mean, I've seen crazier things, but they're probably gonna
Yeah,
be
Mace.
decent at least. With if he's mediocre, not terrible. I would expect Pittsburgh to be decent. They've got a good team overall. You're going from the crappy Jets organization to one of the more solid, stable organizations. Wide receiver group excluded there, and Pittsburgh is a much better place for him to be.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, Mason Rudolph had a winning record as a Pittsburgh Steeler, so it does kind of go to show that the Steelers are a really good organization in that sort of realm. Again, I think a lot of Steelers fans start to get mad that oh, we're, Mike Tomlin's like not non-losing record streak is so stupid. Like, what are we doing? And like, I agree to an extent. On the one hand, I can see like if you're going 9-8, 10-7 every year and getting bounced, then like I mean, it does seem like you're never going to win a Super Bowl. But on the other hand, think about how many teams, and no disrespect, probably including your team, that
Definitely,
would kill to have that type of production
that's what I want.
every single year.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want to have like a chance because like ultimately, now I'm saying like it does seem like they don't have a chance. The truth is, once you make the playoffs, there is a theoretical chance that you make a run and go to the Super Bowl. Now, is it very unlikely if you're rolling out Russell Wilson, who's washed, or like Kenny Pickett? Then like probably. In fact, I think in that playoff game that was Mason Rudolph though, right? Or was it someone else? It's like I know Kenny Pickett.
I
I'm thinking
thought
about
Pickett played
2023.
I thought Pickett played the playoff game.
I think no, I think you're right. Or I thought it wasn't. Maybe it was Pickett. I thought it
Well,
was
I think
Mason Rudolph,
his
honestly.
rookie season it was Pickett, and then the year after maybe it was somebody else because he had been
Yeah.
benched
No,
at a
you might
certain
be right.
point. So
But all that to say, you are rolling out a bunch of mid quarterbacks. It does seem like just ever since Ben Roethlisberger retired that they haven't really been able to figure out the long term solution at quarterback. Like they thought it was Kenny Pickett. Apparently,
even I
he's
would
not
go
that
back to
good.
before he
And
retired. They should have had a succession plan in place, knowing he was going to retire at some point, and the guy was old. You knew he was going to retire, and you
yeah,
had no backup plan. So they should have been planning in advance, and they didn't. And then they have had no. Well, to be fair, they did draft Kenny Pickett in the first round. They must have believed he could be a franchise quarterback, but that's really about it since Big
and
Ben.
remember, remember Kenny Pickett got drafted like 20 something. I forget, it was like 26 or something like that. Kenny Pickett was the first quarterback taken in a very depleted draft class. Like this was a draft class where like Malik Willis was projected to go like 2 overall in some mock drafts or something like that. And like he didn't even go in the first round, and like it was a very like I mean, did anyone was Brock Purdy in that draft class? I mean, he was like
Yeah,
last
he was
overall,
he
so
was the
obviously.
last overall pick in that draft class, and he's the only quarterback who's proven to be any good.
Yeah, but I think the top prospects were literally Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis.
And Matt Corral was also up there. Carolina drafted him.
Yeah, so this was probably the worst quarterback draft class in recent memory, and yet the Steelers kind of like reach for a quarterback. But no, to your point, I do agree that like you need to do like kind of like what the Green Bay Packers have done with just like drafting Jordan Love in advance. Even the Patriots, like when they drafted Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, obviously, that didn't like they didn't realize how goated Brady was going to be into his 40s, but they had that succession plan in
Right.
place. I guess when he actually left, like they didn't really, which is a whole other sort of thing. But you always want to draft someone if you think your quarterback might be kind of like falling off here in a little bit.
You got to
What I
plan ahead.
heard,
You just have to.
yeah,
There's no more
right.
to it.
What I heard was that I could be totally making this up, but I believe that Ben Roethlisberger got upset when the Steelers drafted Mason Rudolph, which is, I mean, it's understandable. Like veteran quarterback gets upset, and then like after that, the Steelers just didn't draft a quarterback, like ever since, just to like keep been happy, or maybe they thought Mason was the guy. I'm not exactly sure. But I do definitely agree, and it'll be interesting. Like I feel like there could be some teams, some teams with like some older quarterbacks that are still theoretically like exiting their prime. I'm thinking about like the Rams or like the Cowboys or you
Raiders.
know, uh,
Gino's only gonna
yeah,
be
I
there for
mean
so
Raiders
long.
up there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean just some of those teams that like just have like these quarterbacks that are like they're like in their like maybe like early mid 30s and they're still playing pretty well theoretically, but there's not really. I mean, no one's saying Joe Milton's a succession plan, right? In Dallas,
I
so
guarantee you there are Dallas fans saying that. I guarantee it, man.
yeah, right. Same guy, same fans who said that Trey Lance was gonna be, the future of the Dallas
Oh man,
Cowboys.
the same fans who say it's their year
Yeah.
this year.
hmm Yeah, totally. So it is something you kind of want to think about in these sort of circumstances is like, just kind of drafting that successor because, if you don't, then like you're kind of relying on free agency. Then it's like, okay, do we want to like break the bank for like a Kirk Cousins or something like that? So it's always really interesting.
Yeah, I agree, but we'll see how it works out for Pittsburgh. Uh, it's always possible Rodgers is really good there. I wouldn't bet on it like they are, but you never know. This is a Hall of Fame quarterback, one of the greatest of all time. Maybe he's gonna have another really good season in him, right? It's not impossible. No one's really gonna be predicting it, but it's still possible. Still one of the greatest to ever play.
Yeah,
So you can
true.
hate on the guy all you want, but I don't think he was that bad in New York last year. I think everyone else was pretty
No, I
bad,
think
but
no, and
he
I
was
think
average.
no. To your point, I think down the stretch he played pretty well, is my understanding. I think most people don't realize that because they didn't watch the Jets, but I think once Rodgers got like acclimated and like kind of like time to like sort of like rest up and things like that, he kind of like play a little better.
Sure,
But I think where Rodgers could struggle is if he's like not getting protected and things like that, which I think the Steelers have a good offensive line. So
yeah.
I think if Rodgers is like well protected and can just kind of like play to the system, he'll be solid. Like I think he's probably the 17th best quarterback. Even if he was like the 20th, like I think you can win with that theoretically. So
One thing I am
we'll
worried
see.
about with that offense, though, is I'm not sure how good their running game is going to be. And we know Pittsburgh loves the run game. But they lost Najee
Mhm.
Harris, who I don't think he was that good, to be honest. And they're going to start Jalen Warren, who was the backup to the guy I just said wasn't that good. So they drafted a guy from Iowa in the draft. I don't know which round it was, but they're going to have to hope that he can run the ball pretty well. Um, but honestly, I have more hope for Rodgers in Pittsburgh than I did with the Jets, just because of the organizational differences. Like the Jets are a dumpster fire, usually are. Pittsburgh is solid and stable, but Pittsburgh's always, in recent memory, they've been very dry on offense. They've been a pain to watch. I hated watching any Steelers games. It was not enjoyable. But I'm imagining Rodgers is not going to come in and just stand for that. I feel like he's going to want it to be more exciting because he can sling the ball, right? And he's pretty accurate. He takes care of it. I don't think we're going to see a ton of turnovers in Pittsburgh. I don't know how many touchdowns we'll see, but it can't be worse than last year.
Mhm.
That's kind of where I am on that. There's no way the offense is worse than it was last year. I would expect it to be at least a little bit better. And as long as you get TJ Watt back on defense, I think the defense is going to be
Mhm.
great again.
Yeah, probably a solid transition to one of our talking points, which is that minicamp sort of started for all the players this week, and kind of the big stories that are coming out of that is like the players who are like waiting on contracts, like who's showing up and who's holding out, like taking the fines and things like that. And TJ Watt is one of them who is not showing up to mandatory minicamp, which I think is understandable. He wants a new contract. He's already made a lot of money, so he's not really going to be affected by the fines or anything like that.
Sure.
But TJ Watt is 30. He's going to be 31 in October during the season. What's up, Devin? How's it going? And yeah, so if you're Pittsburgh, like, do you? I've heard a lot like the past couple years that Pittsburgh should trade T.J. Watt, just like get what you can get, and then like if you could like use those picks like move up for a quarterback, like knowing that the NFL's not Madden, and it's not just that just because you trade him doesn't mean you're gonna get like the first overall pick or whatever. But
Sure.
what do you think the Steelers should do with T.J. Watt? Should they extend him? Should they trade him? Should they just like what
So
should happen?
I think they should at least be open to trading him, because if you get that good of an offer that you can't refuse, then yeah, you go for it. So you might as well see if someone's willing to bite, right? And it's not like he's ancient. He's not past his prime. I'd argue he's still in his prime. I was also arguing last year he probably could have won Defensive Player of the Year. Give Pittsburgh a few more wins, I think he would have. But honestly, I think Pittsburgh should do all that they can to keep him. That man has carried that team to a winning record for the past few years. It's been the defense that's won them games, and he's easily the best player on that defense. It'd be a shame to let him go. I think he should be a Steeler for life at this point. It would be weird to see him elsewhere. So I think they should pay the man. They should keep him in Pittsburgh for the rest of his career if they can. At a certain point, though, if I'm TJ Watt, I want out. I would probably go at least this season and see how you do with Rodgers. And then if that doesn't go well, then you go to a team like Buffalo or Baltimore. I'm not going to say the Chiefs, but you go to a team that's contending for a Super Bowl. So that's where I'm at. If I'm the Steelers, if I'm TJ Watt, they should try to keep him. I would be very careful if I'm TJ Watt, though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is kind of interesting because I still think TJ Watt is one of the best defensive players in the league. I mean, he's like probably a little bit past his prime. He had a 22 and a half sack season in 2021, 23. In 23, he had a 19 sacks. And not to say that sacks are everything, but it's kind of like some other like statistics towards like you have to go off something. Like, am I going to like look at it like, oh, what's his pressure rate? Like, I'm not really that nerdy necessarily. Although this is football for fun. So, we just kind of look at that. But you could also say that like he only had 11 and a half sacks last year, which is actually a little lower than I would have thought, which is like
I thought he had
solid.
more like 15, 16 sacks. That's
The year before he had 19. But it's like a solid double digit sack season. But for like TJ Watt standards, like you might be
right.
thinking like is his production kind of going down a little bit? What I would kind of wonder with TJ Watt, which I agree, I think he's been one of the best defensive players in the league. Like when you think about those Steelers teams who are rolling out Mason Rudolph and Russell Wilson and like Kenny Pickett, whatever, like you think about how those quarterbacks were carried by the defense, and TJ Watt was very instrumental in that. Now it's not just him; they've had some other great defensive players like Cam Hayward, like Minka Fitzpatrick.
Right.
You could just name a bunch of them, but so you do have to respect that. But at the same time, theoretically, TJ Watt is a depreciating asset, so you kind of think like, is he gonna be this good in like 2-3 years? Could I just trade him now? But what you also have to think about is like, what could you get for TJ Watt? And is that player guaranteed to be like, 25 to 50% of like the value that like TJ Watt? Like clearly you're probably not going to be able to like say theoretically you just trade him for a first round pick. Um like is like you're probably not going to get TJ Watt with that first round pick. So it's just kind of like it's kind of a value play, I guess, if that makes sense. Um and I think it probably makes most sense. I don't know. It might make more sense to trade him if you think you can somehow package it to like get a quarterback next year.
Mm,
But there's no guarantee of that because what if you trade him to a team that's good? So say like who would trade for TJ Watt? Just like
Buffalo would be
the
my
Bills.
top
Yeah.
team. Yeah.
So like you trade him to Buffalo, then like let's say that you have a solid season but get bounced out of the playoffs. That's you have like the 18th pick or something like that, or not 18th, but like 22nd or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you have Buffalo's pick, which is probably be like 29 or 30. You have 18 and 29. Are you really going to use those as a package to move up to 5 and draft a quarterback? Probably not. So all that to say, I'm not sure. I mean,
Yeah, so with that
my
in mind,
gut.
actually, if I'm the Steelers, I would probably extend him for 2 years if possible. Um,
Yep.
Write it out this year, see how he does. And then, given that Rodgers is probably only around for 1 year and you have to do something at quarterback, I probably would trade Watt. Maybe not for another pick, but I'd trade Watt and the first rounder to move up. I don't think I'd trade him before the draft. I think I'd wait for the draft and package him in a deal to move up. I think that would be a good approach.
Yeah. Okay, so when you say that you'd extend it for 2 years, are you saying that includes the upcoming contract year? So you'd have him for
Yeah.
like one more year?
Yeah, that
Okay,
way
that
whoever
makes
gets
sense.
him isn't just having to extend him immediately, because that would be harder to pull that off, is what I'm thinking.
Right.
Then again, if he's just terrible next year, then no one's going to want the contract. But also, if he's terrible next year, it's not going to matter in a deal. So, yeah.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. Yeah, my gut is that TJ will probably just get extended. I like your idea because I think it's also good for TJ Watt because you can kind of like just re-hit the market in like a year, and then you just kind of like you'll just make a lot of money that way. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe TJ thinks that he can get some like bigger extension with the Steelers, something like 3 years, 60 million or something like, or 60, no, like 3 years, 90 million would make more sense because he's probably in the market for like 30 million a year or something like that.
What
I
is
don't know
Trey
what the
Hendrickson asking for? Do you know off the top of your head? Because whatever he's asking for,
I
TJ
will.
Watt deserves more, I would say.
Yeah, who's recently got extended? Miles Garrett, right? So
Oh, he got an
Miles
obscure amount of
Garrett
money.
contract. He got extended. Okay, so Miles is going for like 40 million a year.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's way higher than I thought. Yeah,
I don't know if I would give
casual
TJ
here,
40
football for
million
fun.
when he's obviously the stats say he's going downward year by year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he'd be quite going for 40. It's like Miles Garrett is like,
He's a beast.
okay, he's only 29, which actually sneaky.
He's that old
He's
already?
only he's only like a year older than TJ Watt.
Wait, how old is TJ?
I guess. No, yeah, he'll be 30 in December. TJ Watt will be 31 in October. So
Ah.
there's not that much of an age difference. See, like when I heard that, I would thought Miles Garrett was like 27 or something
Yeah, I
like
was
that. Like,
thinking
no,
he
he's about
was.
to be
Yeah,
30.
that's wild.
Yeah, it has been a while since he got because he was in that draft class with like Mahomes and Watson and like all that
Well, it's
stuff.
also crazy that
That
Mahomes
was
is that old too. Like, pretty soon he's
yeah,
gonna be
no,
the
Mahomes.
veteran in the league.
I know it is. I was actually kind of saying that I think in a top 10 quarterback video that's going to be out soon that like it is crazy that like Mahomes and that generation is like they're about to be 30 and it's like wow, like that's absolutely
It's
crazy.
insane,
I
man.
remember when they got drafted. It's so funny.
Yeah, me too. I remember watching them in college. Like, that feels recent to me.
I know that's crazy. Yeah. That's insane. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. For all we know, maybe TJ Watt does like get some extension for like 35, 40 million a year or something like that. I mean, and that's probably about what Trey Hendrickson is asking for if you were to if I were to guess.
Yeah, my gut is he'll probably get traded or sign elsewhere at some point. I think it'll be sort of like with JJ. I feel like a lot of people expected him to be a Texan for life, but if he wasn't going to be a Texan for life, I feel like, at some point TJ is going to consult his brother, right? You would think. And
Yeah.
JJ, I wonder what JJ would tell him, because it's not like he found much success after leaving Houston. He randomly went to Arizona, and was that his last stop? I
Oh,
think it was.
yeah, it was. And like randomly, he had a decent season his last year. I think he had 10 or 11 sacks or
Yeah.
something like that. But I guess he just like I mean, you just never know. Maybe like it was just easier playing a different position because he like later part of his career played more like inside rather than like as an edge player.
Hmm.
What I can say about the JJ Watt situation is like I mean I feel like for all we care, like he retired as a Texan. Like obviously that didn't literally happen, but it's not like he went to another team, dominated for like a few years, and then like he's basically like a Texan for life. Like he's still involved with the franchise. I mean, I think I saw like on social media he went to the Texans like mini camp like this
Nice.
week. I think today
That's cool.
even. So like he's still like yeah, he's still like very involved with our franchise. And like I don't think anyone resents him for like leaving us for Arizona.
I think people
Because if you remember
understood
at the
why he wanted
time,
to leave.
yes, at the time, contextually, we were a dumpster fire. Like this was when like Deshaun requested a trade, and then it got like ugly with the like lawsuits and things like that. And like we had like David Collier as our head coach, so like I completely understood. Like I wasn't even like mad or anything like that. I was just like, I remember he announced on an Instagram video, I think that he was gonna he wanted to that he was gonna he requested to be released, and I was like, yeah,
Mm,
I understand that. I mean,
yeah.
that's totally, even if he were to stay, like it's not like he's gonna like save our franchise him alone. Like obviously in the prime of his career he was a great player, but just So all that to say, I think TJ Watt, it's different. It's different context wise with TJ because he's not in a dumpster fire organization. He's just in a situation where like, okay, maybe you won't win a Super Bowl, but you kind of have a chance like maybe cement your legacy as like a lifetime Steeler. So it would be kind of interesting to see like just like what he does and like what his brother would tell him and things like that. I think that would be pretty interesting. I actually forgot. Actually looking something up. Apparently, Trey Hendrickson is asking for about $35 million annually, which makes sense. I mean, maybe he's not as productive as like Myles Garrett has been, but just kind of like right below to where it seems fair, and he's making his money.
I'm just saying though, I'm giving TJ more than I'm giving Trey. I don't even care that Trey is younger. Give me TJ for more money than that. Honestly.
Yeah, that seems about fair. Yeah, so we will see how that goes. I mean, I think my gut is that he'll be a Steeler, whether they like figure out a contract. I mean, I guess that has to be the case. Like they'll have to like work out a contract. I guess the question is, will it be like long term, like 4 years, or like a 2-year, then you can hit the market in another year type of deal? It'll be pretty interesting to see.
It'll have massive implications on the future, I'm sure. No doubt.
Yep, definitely. Other players who are seeking contracts, some of them having showed up for minicamp, others having not. Terry McLaurin is also absent from minicamp, if I'm not mistaken.
Terry McLaurin.
And he is... Yeah.
So is he seeking a new contract?
Interesting. Yeah.
So
he's seeking his third contract.
There's no way they don't pay him, though, right? I mean, you got to keep Jaden's wide receiver 1 in town. There's no shot he's leaving, you would think.
You wouldn't think so. Unless the Commanders do a Bill O'Brien and just trade him for like a backup running back and like a second-round pick.
Genius. Oh, no way.
But no, I think Terry McLaurin is seeking a new deal. I don't know what his current contract. Let me see if I can look it up right now.
They had him for fairly cheap, I feel like, for someone who's been so solid for such a crappy franchise until lately, of course.
Yeah, he's basically averaging like $22 million a year, and he's probably looking for closer to 30.
I would think so, yeah.
Make that assumption.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, I think he's 29 if I'm not mistaken. He's been very productive on the Commanders, really no matter who they roll. He'll be 30 in September, which is still it's still pretty good. Like he still like has a few more good years of football remaining. He has posted, and I actually didn't even like realize this. Like we talk about like Mike Evans' like 1,000 yard like streak, which is kind of crazy, but like Terry McLaurin, it's not nearly as long. He hasn't been in the league that long, but he has had like 5 straight seasons of 1,000+ yards, which is very
with
solid.
The quarterbacks he's had to play with. That's impressive.
That is very impressive. Okay, also there's this paradox. Not that it really matters, but I did want to point it out. Let me see. Okay, Mike Evans is only 2 years older than Terry McLaurin, right? So just put that in your head. Mike Evans is like he's basically 32. Terry McLaurin's 30.
Okay.
And I'm rounding up because they're like turning that age into the season.
Sure,
you know what I mean. Mike Evans has been in the league 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years. Terry McLaurin only 6.
So Terry was drafted. He was drafted. So did he play 4 years at Ohio State then? Was he graduated as a senior and entered the league?
Let's see.
I mean, because if he's entering the league at 22 or 23, that
he played 4 and he redshirted.
Ah, okay.
And I guess Evans he played 2 years at A&M and redshirted.
That sounds right. I remember Mike Evans at A&M. It was a long time ago, but
dude, yeah, Manziel to Mike Evans was absolutely crazy.
Legendary.
It is crazy that with Manziel was his quarterback in college, but that is insane.
It really is.
Anywho, because I was thinking about that because I was looking at Terry McLaurin's kind of 1,000 yard streak, and I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if he can catch Mike Evans, which I mean, it's pretty unlikely, but
it'll probably be a while before somebody catches Evans.
Yeah. I would say though, Terry McLaurin a little bit on the underrated side as far as like wide receivers go, and I would probably agree that I think if you're the Commanders, like I mean, you have Jaden Daniels on a rookie contract, so this is where you sort of like pay some of your like premium players. I guess maybe it gets a little bit complicated because it did just trade for Tunzel, who wants a new contract. And
Mm.
that's why we trade Tunzel. It's not because he like sucked or anything like that. It wasn't even about being the false start liability, which although that was a problem, but he wants a new deal, and understandably, we don't really want to like pay him that. And the reason, I guess, we're in a little bit of a different situation. It's so funny how like 1 year makes a difference. I feel like we are preparing for CJ Stroud's contract, so we're kind of like doing things like moving Tunzel and like things like that. Whereas the Commanders are kind of loading up with Jaden Daniels' rookie contract. They have Laramie Tunzel and they trade for Debo Samuel. So
And hot take,
it'll be
I'm not a
interesting.
Debo guy. I'm not right now anyway. So that's part of why
Yeah,
I would be pushing to get Terry signed as soon as you can. Like he's your wide receiver one without a doubt, and why would you ruin that? You need to keep him around for your quarterback. You don't want to rely on the options behind Scary Terry. You need him. Uh,
yeah,
I don't think that's going to be a
definitely.
situation that lingers on for too long. They're going to sign him. I have no doubt about that. It would be really. I mean, I can't imagine the fan base would be happy with them if they don't sign him. They're trying to move past the old ownership. It was really crappy,
Mhm.
and they got this new image, this new team, and I don't think they want to break that up by not keeping their top receiver around. I think it's just
Yeah,
bad for morale, bad for the team. I wouldn't do it.
I agree. I mean, Jane Daniels, he has chemistry with Terry. Like, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. It's to just sort of like be like, yeah, see you later. Sayonara, right? So, I'd agree with you there. Now, what do you think about James Cook?
James Cook, honestly, I get where he's coming from. He's been their best running back in years, probably. I don't even know who their last good running back was before James Cook. But
Mhm.
also, I'm not prioritizing the run game in Buffalo, honestly. And I know James Cook has been good, but I don't think he's been great. He's just been solid. He's been
Mhm.
fine. But he's very much, in my opinion, and I'm saying this as a James Cook fan. I'm a Georgia fan. I watched him in college. I'm rooting for him. I think he's expendable. And if he's asking for more than Buffalo wants to pay, I wouldn't have a problem with them moving on. You know, I that's just kind of
Mm.
where I am. But if he's not asking for anything unreasonable, then sure, pay him. But Buffalo's only got so much money, right?
That's true. I kind of think, uh, so apparently he's asking for like 15 million a year.
Okay,
Um,
where would that put him amongst the top of running backs?
that's a good question. So NFL running backs APY, I think ranking. Is it
Hmm.
API or
Yeah,
APY?
average per year.
APY. Yeah. So, um, let's see. So Saquon is making 20 million a year,
Sure.
CMC 19, Derrick Henry 15. So he'd be about that 3-4
He wants
spot.
Derrick Henry money.
He wants Derrick Henry money, which okay, to be fair, you do have some like ant guys up there, like Jonathan Taylor's make. I guess is Jonathan Taylor good? I mean, he's
He's
pretty
still
good,
he's
right?
easily better than James Cook. I'm sorry, James.
Yeah,
Like
I feel like I just forget he exists. Oh yeah, he had 1,400 yards
it's
because
because
he
he's
had like
stuck in
his
Indy.
really good.
So
He had a really really good sophomore season. Then he kind of had a 2 year slump, and
he
now
got
he had a good
injured. He had
season
some
in
injury
2020.
problems. I think last year was his
Yeah,
first year healthy in a little bit.
yeah. Jonathan's making 14. Alvin Kamara's making 12 and a half. Josh Jacobs 12, and Josh Jacobs I think recently got extended, right? Like
He
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 was
was
kind of one of those like
signed by a
running.
team by Green Bay last off season. I don't think anyone would disagree that
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs is better than James Cook, right?
Uh, Sorry. Can you repeat that? You don't think anyone thinks? What's that?
Basically, Josh Jacobs is better than James Cook, and I don't think anyone's really disagreeing with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I think with James Cook,
Yeah, look up his
I'm actually
stats
just
real quick,
looking back.
actually, because I was thinking his best season's probably 1,100 yards on the ground at best.
Am I James Cook or
Yeah,
Josh
and I had him in
Jacobs?
fantasy last year, so this isn't the best perspective, but it felt like he was really inconsistent. Like some weeks he would go off, some weeks he wouldn't. And for me as a fantasy owner, I can say this now, I didn't feel that good starting him most weeks because I felt like he had to get the touchdowns, and a lot of weeks he did though. But I don't know, I
Yeah.
didn't feel great about it. And he's good, he's
Yeah,
good,
it's
just not
pretty.
great. He's not an elite running
Yeah, it
back.
is interesting. I think I had Jacobs, not Jacobs. I had James Cook in a fantasy league as well. Although I forget if it was last year or the year before. Honestly, I think it was last year.
Probably last
And
year. Last year was the year to get
the
him.
same thing. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good. Was that in my family league? I think so. Anyway, but like honestly though, a lot of the fantasy memories, fantasy memories, right? But a lot of the memories of my fantasy teams, like they're all kind of like phasing out at this point. Like
Sure.
I don't know, like I know I had James Cook in a league, and I'm not sure so it's just anyway. So I don't know. My opinion, not to like disagree necessarily. I think the Bills should extend James Cook. And the reason that I think that is because we kind of had this like relatively recent sort of like a kind of crisis with the running backs feeling like they're not being paid, and then suddenly Saquon Barkley got paid, a lot of other guys got paid, and maybe I'm just being like maybe like Saquon is just so distracting. It's easy to see Saquon got paid. He had the season just be like, yeah, just pay your running backs.
Sure.
So I do acknowledge that I could be wrong there.
So my thing
What I
isn't that
do
I
think
don't want to pay the running backs, but I don't want to overpay at the same time. And I don't know if I'm paying 15 million for James Cook. That's just kind of
I yeah,
not
I
Buffalo.
would. The reason I say that is I think James Cook is young. He's only been in the league for 3 years, and I think the league is in a. I think the salary cap's in a situation to where if he sucks, you could like move on. But he's really good, then you have a really good guy under contract. I guess I just got kind of go based off potential.
Hmm.
And I also think it's I mean, the Bills don't really have a lot like offensively, which I mean, to be fair, you do have Josh Allen, so it's not like you really need a lot offensively. But I probably would be inclined to pay him. I kind of think they will work something out, and I think it does benefit James Cook to be on the Bills because they are, perennial Super Bowl contenders. You have one of the
Oh
best
yeah. If I'm James
quarterbacks
Cook, I
in the
don't want to
league.
leave.
Yeah, so like I don't know like what I wouldn't under. I mean, I do know what he's making us think about. I'm just kind of like maybe you don't have to take every single last penny, but I mean, you do want a deal that's fair for you. But at the same time, I think something will be worked out, and I think it'll be fine. Like, I don't think it'll be seen as some like
As
disaster or
long as
anything
it's a
like that.
reasonable
But
deal for both sides, I think that they should extend him. I wouldn't I don't want to
Mhm.
I wouldn't want them to just move on from him. I think it's ideal for them to keep him for sure. Whoever else they go to at running back is not going to be as good as him for next season. There's no doubt about that. But I don't want to overpay
right,
if it can be helped.
yeah, like if he's asking for Saquon money, okay, that's different.
It's really he's
But
asking
yeah,
for Derrick Henry money.
I mean, it's solid. I mean, it's different though since Derrick Henry's like older but still really good. But yeah, it is kind of like up there.
If Derrick Henry were
Um,
younger, he'd be making Saquon money.
oh yeah, how did Derrick Henry do? I know he did good.
He
I'm just
had
actually
he had
wondering what his
almost
stat.
2,000 yards, I think.
He did, yeah, 1,900 yards, 16 touchdowns.
He had an
Wow, so
absolute
he
beast of a
and
season.
Saquon almost got. Did Saquon get 2,000?
Yeah, he got 2,000. Like he
So
was
he
pushing
got
for the
2,000.
record.
He just didn't break the. He didn't break the
Yeah, he
record.
sat out that last week because he's a team player.
Honestly, maybe this is a casual moment by me, but if Saquon Barkley's season didn't happen, are we just talking about Derrick Henry having had one of the best seasons ever as a running back?
We
I feel
probably
like that's
would
getting
give that a lot
overlooked.
more attention, but he is overshadowed by
Yeah.
Saquon. But also everyone acknowledges like he was amazing last season, especially being on the older side.
Derrick Henry had more rushing touchdowns than Saquon. Derrick Henry had 16, Saquon had 13. Okay,
What about games
honestly,
played though? Just
like
out of curiosity, who did they play the same amount of games?
they Saquon played 16, Derrick played 17.
Okay,
I guess I kind of
I mean either way, Derrick Henry probably gets more touchdowns.
Yeah, Derrick Henry had 5.9 yards per carry. Saquon had 5.8.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
13, 16. Yeah, Derrick had 1921. Saquon had 2005. So I think their seasons were a little bit closer than actually. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that they had that close of like seasons. I think like everyone thought that like like everyone just like worships Saquon Barkley now. Like, oh, he's the absolute best, number one pick in fantasy, like man cover things like that. But like
Mm-hmm.
don't overlook Derrick Henry. As a Texans fan, I saw him just torch us for like 200 yards and like 3 touchdowns every
He's
time we played
insane,
him. It's
man.
like,
He really is.
really, yeah, I know. It's like you can't tackle him, like literally, like just yeah,
I'm looking
just
up James Cook's stats right now because I was curious. So his peak for rushing
yeah,
yards is 1122. Last year he got
mhm,
1009. Um,
yeah,
he's been healthy so far. That's good. Last year his main thing last year was he got 16 touchdowns, which I honestly didn't realize it
yeah.
was that many. That's kind of crazy.
It is
Especially
crazy, yeah,
you would have expected Josh Allen to get more at the goal line, but I don't know. I don't know. Again, I think they should keep Cook if they can. Just I'm scared of overpaying. That's really all it comes down to for me. Especially if it's
yeah,
Buffalo of all teams. I feel like they're less worried about their run game than other teams since they have Josh Allen.
hmm
But we know what a great running back can do for you. We just saw that in Philadelphia and Baltimore. Really, they were a lot better with Derrick Henry. So yeah,
yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting to monitor. I think T.J. Watt and James Cook will get done. And Terry McLaurin. I guess if I were to think about, it, I assume all of them will get done at some
yeah, I feel
point.
pretty good
I
about most
think,
of them. Should be
yeah.
fine.
So like when you talk about like players like holding out or holding in or whatever, like which we've to talk about T.J. Watt, Terry McLaurin, James Cook. I guess T.J. and Terry are veterans. James Cook is looking for a second contract. But then you have Shermar Stewart
Yeah,
holding out.
yeah.
What,
Okay.
what's up with that?
I would like to know if it's his fault or if it's Cincinnati's fault because I've been assuming he's just got some issues. Like why are you taking so long to sign a rookie contract? But is it possible Cincinnati's lowballing him? Are they offering him less money than he should be getting based on previous
So
contracts? What do you know?
so the deal is I don't know if you know this. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. I'm just so
I
he's
don't know,
getting
dude.
paid. No, you're good. So you get paid based on your draft slot, no matter the position.
Okay.
So he is gonna get paid at I don't know, like just say like what like total. Let's say total contract 2025. That sounds about right for a first round pick. Let's just say that. So
Okay.
let's say 20, and I have no idea. I could be totally off. So he will get paid like 4 years, 20 million. Like his salary is set. What they negotiate is stuff like I think signing bonus and like guarantees and things like that. So I guess the answer is like no, he's not getting lowball because he's gonna get a set rate.
Okay.
But it's just kind of like stupid stuff like that they're kind of like making us think about. I
So
don't know. I
whose
feel like
fault
I've
is it
heard.
though? Is it a him issue or a
Yeah,
Cincinnati issue?
it might be a little bit of both. I have heard criticism over like Cincinnati. Now I think part of it is that like Cincinnati is like known for being like cheap and things like that. Ironically, they just paid Jamar
Yeah.
Chase. I guess
Yeah,
that's like not
half their
really the
cap
case
space
now, but
is taken up by 3 players, so it's kind of funny.
right. Yes, but I do think the Bengals have been notorious for like not being the greatest franchise when it comes to like sort of like retaining their talent and things like
Hmm.
that. But I don't know. I think it's kind of both. I'm not sure. It's just kind of stupid. Like just get it done. Like
Well, I'm sure they
it's a
will at some
rookie
point,
contract.
but how? I mean, everyone else signed pretty quickly. The draft was a month and a half ago at this point, so it can't drag out for that long. They gotta figure it out. But I don't know. It's
Right.
weird. It's a weird story, that's for sure.
Yeah, Shamar Stewart had a quote. I want to see if I can pull it up.
That'd be great.
I'm just curious, like, if it provides any like context.
Because I've not looked into this
Shamar.
situation at all.
He says, uh, I'm 100% right. I'm not asking for nothing. The Bengals have never done. I'm not asking for nothing the Bengals have never done before. But in y'all case, y'all just want to win arguments more than winning game. I don't know. Sometimes these players just talk like they're in like fifth grade. Like, I can't really.
Yeah,
even
that
tell
was
what
a
he's
pain to
saying.
try to listen to.
No, it's a pain to try read. Here's what it literally says. Like, I'm 100% right. I'm not asking for nothing, and it's in bracket the Bengals, which he didn't say. It's just say he's just saying like
Mhm.
have never done before. But in y'all's case, y'all just want to win arguments bracket more than winning more games. I think he's just trying to say that the media is just making a big deal about it. Which I mean,
Yeah,
he's not necessarily wrong
that's
with this,
probably true.
but
They tend to do that.
yeah,
We
but
don't do that here at Football for Fun.
it
We
is
take it
also
seriously.
weird.
Don't
Yeah,
blow it out of proportions.
it's also weird though that like your first round pick hasn't been signed. Like honestly, I kind of want to peg it on I still think it's kind of like both sides, but I want to peg it on the rookie because you've never played an NFL game. You've never played. You could be a bust for all we know, and it's just like, if you're a bust, you will be begging for your rookie contract again when your next is up, right?
Right.
Like, I don't necessarily think he'll
And
be a
if you're
bust,
good,
but
then the rookie contract's not going to matter because you're going to be getting paid so much. It looks like nothing anyway.
right. I don't know, just a stupid situation. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's kind of both the rookie and the Bengals. Like, just come on, just agree to something.
That's probably the case. Usually in a conflict, it's the fault of both sides to some degree. So I'm sure they're both at
Yeah,
fault somehow.
sure. Yep. Um. Okay, some other topics. I've already talked about Nick Chubb being signed with the Texans. Had a video out which actually did pretty well. You have any thoughts? I mean, I like the move. I think we both kind of like it. 1-2 punch with Joe Mixon. We're not paying him that much. We're only paying him like 2.5 million, I believe. So, you know, but yeah. Do you have any thoughts?
So Nick Chubb to Houston. My thoughts are. I mean, I don't have a lot to offer. I think we mostly agree. I think you got him really cheap. That's good because he's your backup running back. Joe Mixon's going to be the starter, but
Yep.
Joe Mixon tends to get hurt, misses a few games every year, right? So at some point, Chubb is probably the starter. You're really hoping that he's going to stay healthy. He's a good backup to have for sure, and I like that you got him cheap. There's like no risk to this really. It's not like he isn't better than
Yeah.
whoever else was going to be your backup running back. So I think that's a really good move, and it's a high reward. Obviously, high reward. I mean, you could have two running backs with 1,000 yards if he's healthy and he's still got it. I'm not going to predict that by any means, but I think it's a good move for Houston. There's no doubt about it, but it doesn't really change anything for me
Yeah.
personally. But it's good. I don't think it's going to change much though, to be honest.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Although we have a chatter which asking if we think Bo Nix will have a better year than CJ Stroud.
That's
Which I would probably
intriguing.
say no, but we could also, if you want to, because you're not the biggest Bo Nix guy. Do you want to use this as a platform to explain that? Okay, because I was actually wondering. So here's the thing: you are not a Bo Nix guy, nor a Sean Payton guy.
Well, okay, so
So
let
like,
me talk about Sean Payton first. I
explain yourself.
acknowledge that he is one of the best coaches in the league, you could argue ever. He's got a great offensive
Yeah.
mind. I acknowledge all of that. I just don't like the guy. I think he's a jerk. I'm
Mm,
sorry. That's just my stance. I say that as a Panthers fan. You can call bias if you want. I don't honestly care. I don't think he's that good of a guy. Never liked him. Probably never will. I acknowledge that he's a very
I
good coach
mean,
though.
if you yeah, to your point, and to be fair to you, if you orchestrated what's it called, not
Bountygate?
Spygate, yeah, if you orchestrate Bountygate, then like I can't really think that highly of you
And
as a
he has
human
that
being,
stupid
but I
smug
do.
look to him all the time too, you know? And I just
I
hate it.
get that.
I hated seeing it on the opposing sidelines too. As a Panthers fan, you just look across and there he is, all smug, knowing he's gonna win.
Yeah, I can't necessarily disagree. I wouldn't feel as much disdain probably because like I didn't share a division with him.
And he
But
coached my
I
most
do see
hated
where
team,
I mean.
so
Yeah, I did think it was interesting. Like him and Breeze worked like really well. Maybe it was just like a personality thing where like Sean Payton's kind of the like he's like the a-hole intense and things like that, and Breeze is just kind of like chill, like yeah, I'll just do whatever you
that
need. And
kind of
it's just like
reminds
I
me of
guess it comes
Sirianni
across
and
that way.
Jalen Hurts nowadays.
Hmm. Yeah,
But no,
Um,
I acknowledge
what,
he's a great coach, and I think he's the reason Bo Nix had such a successful rookie season. As for my Bo Nix hate, I never liked him in college. He was terrible in the SEC. Well, not terrible. He was not good in the SEC at Auburn, and then he went to Oregon and was a lot better. I kind of blamed that on
mm,
him playing in the Pac-12, um, which maybe isn't fair, and that's going to age poorly now since the Pac-12 teams have. Well, the Pac-12 isn't a thing anymore, but those teams are suddenly looking really good in other conferences. But I wasn't a fan of him in college.
yeah,
I didn't think he was a first-round talent. And then last year, honestly, I didn't watch him a lot. I just have a bad gut feeling about him, and it seemed like a lot of what he did was designed like get the ball out of his hand as soon as possible, do short routes, dump offs, stuff like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
mm,
Maybe I am. It's totally possible. Maybe he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league next year. I hope not, because I don't want to see Sean Payton have another great quarterback. But maybe I'm wrong.
yeah,
But I'm not a believer yet. Maybe I'll get there. But I still
that's
think
fair.
I think that he was he had a great rookie season. There's no debating that. But I don't know. I'm not in yet.
Yeah,
I'm not on that bandwagon just yet.
that's fair. I mean, it does seem like he has. I mean, he played well. He had a good season. I mean, even you acknowledge that. He has a good coach with like, which like like it or not, like he has that going for him. I guess it'll remain to be seen. Like, can he like play like that consistently? As far as like, who do you think will have a better season, Bo Nix or C.J. Stroud? Because
I'm gonna say
it
Stroud
is tough.
without overthinking it. I'm gonna say Stroud because he's got the better weapons, and that's about the extent of my justification. I think he's gonna improve upon his sophomore slump, and he'll be back more similar to what he was in his rookie season. Healthy Nico Collins.
Mhm.
You got the rookie receivers from Iowa State, Christian Kirk. Who am I forgetting? Is that it?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing
Sorry, I
somebody.
wasn't paying attention. But we have Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, Higgins, Schultz, Mixon. Uh,
Yeah, and
Obviously
then
the
you
running
compare it
back.
to Denver. They've got Cortland Sutton, and I've always been a Sutton fan. A while ago I was wishing he'd get traded because I think he would have done better. But part of that was because he didn't have any good quarterbacks. But now he's got Bo Nix, who is, despite the hate from me, he is the best quarterback they've had in years. So there's that. Um,
Yes.
and I didn't like their running game, but they did just upgrade by signing J.K. Dobbins, and they got Harvey in the
Mhm.
draft. So maybe the weapons are going to be better this year, and that'll help him a lot. Underrated weapon in Denver, by the way, is the receiver. Don't remember his first name, but the last name is Vele, I think. He was pretty solid for
Oh,
them.
yeah. Huh.
So just a
Right.
name to watch moving forward. Um, I'm gonna say Stroud has a better season this year, though. Just I like his weapons better, and I like him better. So
Right. So, and I think this will be interesting because King Rays does say it's one of the best rookie seasons, which I probably don't necessarily disagree with. I think it's just been a little bit overshadowed
by
by how
Jaden,
well Jaden Daniels played. But while you were talking, I was actually curious because just like put some things in perspective. So, and again, not trying to like sing too much of like Bo Nix's praise when you just said you don't think he's all that good, but just
sure.
just laying it
I
out.
mean,
And I'm
look,
not trying to like
I'm making
argue
a
or
bold
anything. Just
claim here. Not many people are anti Bo Nix right now, so go ahead and challenge me on it. I don't mind.
no, that's and this isn't even the challenge. It's just like put things
Okay.
in perspective, and this might more reflect kind of the evolution of like how easy it is to play quarterback. But in 2018, Baker Mayfield set the rookie record for touchdown passes. Do you happen to know what the number was? And if
Probably
you
in the
don't, just take a
30s, I'm
guess.
guessing.
It was not in the 30s.
Oh, that's a little sad.
So in 2018, the number was 27.
Wait,
27
Andrew
touchdowns, and
Luck
that was
didn't
the
get more
rookie
than that
record.
his rookie season? That's a little surprising.
No, let's see, Andrew Luck, and he had a really good rookie
Yeah, he had
season.
one of the
He
best
had
passing seasons for a rookie. I'm pretty sure he
Okay,
crossed
so oh,
4,000
interesting. So
yards.
Andrew Luck. Wait, really? Okay, okay. This is okay. Sorry, I'm going on a complete tangent. So we think Andrew Luck had a historic rookie season, right? And it was really good. Guess
At
what
one
his
point,
passer rating was?
I have no idea what his passer rating was.
76.
76. Okay.
He threw a lot of interceptions. So he threw 23 touchdowns and 18 interceptions.
Okay.
And he did set the NFL record for passing yards. He had 4,300, which is
And
good
then
for a rookie.
Herbert broke that, didn't
But
he? I think.
yeah, so that's what I was going to get to next. So Baker set the rookie record at 27. 2 years later, Herbert broke it at 31. And Bo Nix had 29. So that just puts into perspective, which again, it might more reflect how easy it is now to play quarterback, like as a rookie. Like if you have a good offensive coach,
And the league has become so much more pass happy as well in recent years. So I think that is definitely. I don't think anyone is disagreeing with that trend. So it does make it easier to some degree.
I wonder how many Jaden Daniels had. You happen to know the number?
I don't know the number, and I'm guessing most of his were on the ground. So I wouldn't be surprised if Knicks had more passing touchdowns than Jaden.
I think he had a lot on the ground, but he had 25 touchdowns throwing, and then he had 6 rushing, so 31 all-purpose touchdowns.
Okay.
Unless he had a random receiving touchdown, which I don't think he had. I'm assuming
so.
It's just passing.
Probably not.
And, yeah, right. Like a Philly special. But yeah, so anyway, it is interesting to kind of like yeah, and I always kind of like I didn't watch that much Broncos football, which I was just kind of like, because I was doing my quarterback rankings, I'm kind of thinking like I've heard Bo Nix is pretty good, but I wasn't sure. Like I think I put him at like 13 or something like that.
I think it was 14.
If I'm not mistaken.
Like, in that range. And to be I will say I'd probably have him just slightly lower than that. Like but it's not like I have him in the lower half of the rankings like by that much.
No, and I think if you're a rookie, that's a really good ranking because most people just put straight up rookies in like the 20s. Like I think I had Cam Ward at 23 or something like that. So if you're like 14 to 16 after your rookie year, I think that's a good trajectory.
Successful rookie year, yeah.
Yeah, pretty successful. I think I had Jaden at like 9 or something like that. Oh, well, maybe not because my top 10 technically isn't out yet, so not to necessarily spoil that. Okay. But I don't know that there are very many people to like spoil it too. But I think I did fold and put Jaden ahead of CJ. But it's tough though. It was tough between Jaden, CJ, and Justin Herbert. Like who to put where. It was pretty tough.
I mean, honestly, I think Jaden's probably the best quarterback in the NFC, aside from maybe Jalen Hurts, but that's kind of iffy. I don't know.
Oh, well, I had Jaden as the 4th best in the NFC. Well, I think you probably knew or saw the list.
Yeah, I saw the list. I was surprised.
My top NFC quarterback is pretty surprising, so y'all will have to stay tuned.
I mean, I'm all for respecting him. He deserves it. I won't spoil the name, though.
Right.
I assume you mean Knicks did all that without a consistent running game. I agree. Your running game was a mess. It was I'm not even sure. Was it no, it wasn't Jalil. It was the North Carolina guy. What was his name? Do you remember?
Oh, Hampton?
No. The guy who was already in the league. He was Javonte. It was Javonte Williams. They had Javonte Williams. They had Jalil McLaughlin, and then they had Audric Estime, I think, if that's how you say his name. And it was like a weird running back committee. Some weeks one guy would be a starter, another week it's a new guy. It was mostly the North Carolina guy who already forgetting his name. He's not done much in the league. I'm sorry, but it's a good point. He didn't have much of a running game, and I'm looking forward to seeing if that changes in Denver this year. I don't know. I think that's part of why they had to get the ball out of his hands so fast too. Is like, there's no running game. The defense is going to be able to stack the box or not stack the box, but bring the pressure more at I don't know. I think that's a testament to Sean Payton. I think the offense was designed well around Knicks. There's no doubt about that. I hate saying it, but it's true.
Broncos did sign J.K. Dobbins. How are we feeling about that?
I like it. I like it a lot. I hated that it took so long for somebody to sign Dobbins. He had a great season last year, when he was on the field, and I was surprised it took so long for somebody to bite the bullet. Just sign Dobbins, see what he can do for you, and I think Denver is an ideal situation for him. He's the clear starter there on day one, and if he gets hurt, then Denver has Harvey, so I think Denver's got a decent plan at running back right now. I'm not saying this is going to be one of the best running back rooms in the league, but this is just easily better than what they had last year. So,
for sure.
Yeah. I'm not going to project a step back for Bo Nix just because I think the weapons around him are going to be better. And they underrated as well. They have Evan Ingram. He should help the passing game. I feel like people are forgetting that, but Evan Ingram is still pretty good.
Yeah.
At least at catching.
He is a pretty good tight end.
Yeah.
No, that's good. And I think it's good that Denver has because I assume JK is just going to be their number 1 running back, right? Just the guy.
Unless Harvey is just that good as a rookie. But I mean, he's going to get his chance at some point.
I mean, if Harvey turns out to be better than J.K. Dobbins, I guess that's gotta be a good thing. If you like, if
That
Harvey
means it
kind of
was
like ascends,
it was worth the draft pick.
right, for sure. Um, but sorry, I'm looking at stuff in the chess.com notes, but anyway, just making
Okay.
fun of that Chiefs fan. But anyway, but yeah, no, that's all pretty good stuff. I think it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see the Broncos as well as just the entire AFC West generally, because you think the Chiefs rule it, and I still think they're the favorites to win the AFC West, obviously.
I'm not going to
But
be the brave
you
soul who
got
says they don't win it. I'm not.
nah, I'm not willing to like take that risk either. Like if someone predicts and it happens, like good for you, go grab a cookie or something. But
Yeah.
I couldn't care less. But you have some stacked rosters in there and some legendary head coaches. In the AFC West, you have Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, and who am I missing?
Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So it'll be interesting to see how that division
How
plays
many
out.
teams in that division make the playoffs? That's the real question. Because there's so many teams in the
Yeah,
AFC in that wild card hunt. Like we kind of have our big three in Buffalo, Baltimore, and Kansas City. They're probably locked in, and then AFC South winner probably Houston is in. And then you got all these other teams who could be competing for the wild card spots. You know, you got the Chargers, you got the Bengals. Maybe you have Aaron Rodgers
yeah.
and the Steelers now. Um,
Mhm.
you got the Patriots because we both believe they're gonna win probably around 9 or 10 games, so they're gonna be in the hunt. The Raiders are gonna be a lot of fun. They could be in the hunt. You know, if Miami ever starts winning games in the cold, they could be in the hunt. I
Right.
mean, there's so many good teams that could be in the hunt for the playoffs. So I'm looking forward to watching that play out.
And I even wanted to say there's gonna be some team that surprises us, like Jacksonville could like make a run. Like I kind of feel
Whoever
it. Like
competes
not
with Houston in that division, it's gonna be one of those
yeah.
teams, Jacksonville or Tennessee.
Yeah, I think the AFC South will be a closer race than people assume. Like 2 years ago it was very close. It came down to the last game, and really that drop pass. That was it. It was the backup running back. Was it Hines or some like running back on the Colts dropped a pass to like
I think Hines might
clinch
have been
us the
gone by
AFC
then. I'm
South.
not sure though.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you who it was.
2020. Yeah, I guess I don't think it was Jonathan Taylor. It was some running back.
Didn't I'm sorry, I forgot to name the Broncos. They're also going to be in the wild card hunt.
I think it's
That's my
kind of a
bad.
given. We do think. Yeah. Also, I was actually gonna.
I know I was forgetting somebody.
2023. Okay, right. I actually want to look up who that unfortunate running back was that dropped the ball to clinch the division. It might have been Zach Moss.
Oh, you know, that sounds right. He was in Indy after leaving Buffalo around that time.
Right. Um. Maybe. Yeah, he okay. Yeah, the AI is telling me that he had a costly drop, so yeah, it was totally Zach
We're
Moss.
gonna trust the AI. It's probably right.
Yeah. Um. No. Anywho, yeah, very very good stuff. Um. Yeah, we'll see. It'll be exciting. I think a topic we'll do at some point later is like, well, one, I think, just like, predicting kind of like teams that like, teams that made the playoffs missing and that miss, made and things like that. But also worst to first.
Hmm.
Someone's gonna do it, right? Rise like from worst in the division to first.
There's a team that
So
does it every year, right? So following the trend.
yeah, it's tough because you have a lot of crap teams and like stacked divisions that were worse, like the Giants in the NFC, East. Very unlikely that that's the case.
You know what I
But
hate is Carolina is probably one of the more likely teams to go from worst to first, but I'm too much of a coward to predict it. For the first time, like I predict every year that we're gonna win with the breakout at quarterback and offense is gonna be good, defense is gonna be good.
mhm.
I'm not predicting it this year because I think Tampa's gonna be really good. So
Yeah, I mean
dude, I don't
Tampa
know.
has consistently won the division, even like with Brady and then without Brady. Like I think they're one of the like top teams, like with like the longest like division winning streak.
Yeah,
Outside of
it's
maybe
been
like the
like
Chiefs
4 or 5 years now.
at this point. Yeah, because I think Brady won it for 3 years in a row, and then Baker for two. So it's been 5 years. Yeah,
That
that's
sounds
crazy.
right.
Half a decade. Crazy. It's actually crazy to think about how like 2020 to now was like half a decade. That's
Oh
absolutely
yeah, please
insane.
stop. That's crazy, man.
Right. Yeah. Um, Jonathan Taylor. So Jonathan Taylor was on the roster, but he wasn't the guy who dropped the pass. It was their backup running back. It was
Yeah, because
Zach
for some
Moss.
reason they drew up a play to pass it to the backup running back instead of hand it off to Jonathan Taylor. I remember vaguely that that
Yeah.
was a talking point. Like, why would you not trust Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, that was a little bit odd. That was funny. But
Yeah, you were happy.
anyway, yeah, oh yeah, I was ecstatic. Like, yes! Like, I don't know if I've ever been more excited for a drop pass. Um, but some other notes, I'd say the main other kind of storylines was that Jaire Alexander got released. And also Jalen Ramsey's available for a trade, which I think we've kind of known that for a while. It just
Hmm.
always seems like there's something weird going on. But Jaire Alexander, he's on the streets. Well, not on the streets, but you know what I'm saying. But like he's looking for work. He is unemployed, which technically is not really the case because he get but he's
Yeah.
like he's available. So do you think Carolina should make a move for Jaire Alexander?
So Jair Alexander being available is a very intriguing development. For him, I think he should go somewhere like Buffalo or any other of those top teams that are competing for a title. Do not go to Kansas City. I don't want that. Um, I think he should go ring chasing though at this point. Um, as a Panthers fan, I think I'd be pretty happy if we got him. Have him as the corner two, opposite of J.C. Horn. I think that's a nasty duo in the secondary. I would be so happy with that. There are some concerns with his character, right? Can be a bit of a diva,
Yeah.
supposedly. I don't know how
Mhm.
much I buy into that. I feel like that's kind of blown out of proportion by the media. Could be wrong. I don't think he's quite as bad as Jalen Ramsey, but I don't know. I would be pretty happy if news broke soon that we signed Jair. He's injury prone though. Yeah, that's a good point. Honestly, as long as you're not
Yeah.
overpaying him, I'd take the chance. Uh, that's probably what it comes down
Right.
to, though. How much are you paying him? How much is he asking for? Because it was enough for Green Bay to get rid of him. It was enough for them to be unable to find a trading partner. So if he's asking for too much, that's that. I don't want to overpay for him. But if you add him to the secondary in Carolina, for example, that's him and JC. That's probably one of the best corner duos in the league. I absolutely believe that. So I'd be cool with that. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think he's somebody that our GM is gonna want to bring in. But I wouldn't
Yeah.
be complaining unless we're overpaying him.
Yes. Um, on the topic of cornerbacks, not to really like necessarily change the topic, it is kind of interesting. Did you see PFF's like a cornerback
I
rankings?
saw that J.C. Horn was ranked way too low, and he called him out about it too. That's
Okay,
all
that's
I've
fair.
seen though. They had him at like 23, which I thought was just complete and utter crap. Are you watching football? Come on, guys. I know you're not watching Carolina, but J.C. Horn is in the top 20 at least.
Yeah, I just saw that like Sauce Gardner was one, and I'm like, really? Like, are you just trying to get clicks? Like, I mean, I think he's good, but I don't think he's like. I think Derek Stingley and Derek Stingley was. I'm happy with Derek Stingley at 5. Like, we have the fifth best cornerback in the league. Like, I'm
Sure,
cool with
of
that.
course.
But he's better than Sauce. Like like that is the
Well,
case. I will
who's
die
the best
on that
corner in the
hill.
league in your opinion? Because I don't have an answer for that.
Honestly, I think there's a good chance it is Derek Stingley. Like actually, like he's very impactful. He gets interceptions. He's just a true lockdown. I mean, maybe Sertan, but I just think my understanding is that Sauce Gardner's just very inconsistent. Like he can
Hmm.
play really well, but also he just like he sometimes plays poorly. He'll get like holding calls and like things like that. Which maybe I'm just a casual. I just don't watch enough film to sort of like make that determination.
That's fair.
PS2, yeah, I think that's also pretty reasonable.
That
But
probably would have been my
I do
answer.
think, yeah, I think there are people who think that Stingley is like the best corner in the NFL, and that's not even me trying to be biased. I think it's like a lot of these rankings where the difference between 1 and 5 is probably not that big. Like
Hmm.
there's not like a dominant Darrell Revis or Richard Sherman like in this era necessarily, but yeah, it had a Sauce Gardner's at 1, Pat Surtain's at 2, Trent McDuffie at 3, Jalen Johnson at
McDuffie's
4,
at
and then
three.
Derek Stingley
Wow.
at 5. Yeah.
Okay, who was four? Sorry, who was four?
No, Jalen Johnson. Oh, you're good. Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was someone I heard like 2 years ago was starting to become really good. And
Yeah,
apparently,
he's been good. Just surprised he's that high.
yeah. Jaire Alexander, for the record, is number 9 on this list.
So PFF would say
apparently
he's corner 1 if he came to Carolina. See, this is so funny to me. Like I'm hearing you talk about Stingley, and to be fair, I don't know a ton about him yet because the media doesn't talk about him. But I've looked into him a little bit. I've looked into JC, and I would have said Stingley's better, but I didn't think it was by that much.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got PFF going, yeah, there's a 20 spot difference, no big deal.
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner only plays one side.
Yeah. Kamari Lassiter is number 31, by the way, which I'm fine with. Like, I think it's good that we have 2, like top 32 corners. Although I do think there's a lot, like, not that I watch a lot of film, but I do see a lot of these corners, and I'm like, I probably would take, like, Kamari Lassiter over, like, is Joey Porter that good?
He's fine. Like, just
yeah,
fine.
maybe I think too highly of Kamari Lassiter. Joey Porter's at 26, and I'd probably take this is a spot below J.C. Horn. I'd probably say like I'm trying not to say this because you're here, but I would definitely take J.C. Horn over Kamari Lassiter.
That's good because I would have argued. I would have argued pretty strongly if you hadn't said that.
Yeah, it is so funny how like wasn't there a time when like AJ Terrell was like really really good?
Yeah, like a year or two ago,
which is like solid. Yeah. Ron Bland is 32.
Fair.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Cornerbacks. Yep. I just like that we have a good cornerback room, and like so. No, Houston's not in the market for Jaire Alexander. Like we're good. We just don't need him. Not that anyone was questioning that, but
yeah.
I think I like good stuff.
Hey, speaking of corners though, because we got to talk about Jalen Ramsey at some point. Where is he on the list?
Yeah, he is on the list. I think he was like he's 14.
So he's at 14. Jaire's at 9.
Yeah,
intriguing. So somebody could be looking at that and going, let's get both of them. If there's any team that's that needy at corner, I don't know who that would be, but I mean, that's a good way to fix your secondary.
Getting like that's really interesting to think about. The problem is you're getting too expensive and high maintenance, corners. Like I'm just not sure that you really.
Look, I wouldn't do it, but it would be a really funny idea.
No, it is fun to talk about though. It would be funny if like the Cowboys did it or something like that. I guess the Cowboys.
It probably
they
would
have
be
Bland
them,
and
Diggs.
Now who's their other corner? Diggs,
yeah.
Where is Diggs? I didn't notice him on the list.
He's had some injury riddled seasons, so he might be lower than you think. He better be below Horn.
He's not on the list.
Nice. So they got Bland as the corner 1 in Dallas. I disagree with that.
Yeah, that is so funny though. Trayvon Diggs, yeah, I low-key forgot the guy existed for like a while. Honestly,
he's had a rough couple seasons.
His brother's been in the news more recently than he has, which is fun. But
yeah, for all the wrong reasons, but we won't get into that.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah, he has not played much the past 2 seasons. Past 2 seasons, he only played 13 games. So,
honestly, a little more than I thought.
Yeah, PS2. What was PS2 Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, he took that award last year.
Okay. Nice, good for him. Yeah, definitely one of the best football players in the world. Anywho, yeah, that's about corners. There was one other topic that I kind of want to talk about a little bit. There we go. Which is that which I teased before we went live, and I wanted to sort of like give you a chance to kind of like guess. So the top sort of like merchandise sales as far as like players go came out. And so this is like, things from like jerseys, but also can cover things like, just like, it was saying like just anything like bobbleheads, accessories, figurines, like just anything like related to the player. So it's like, it's not just jersey sales, it's like merchandise. I want you to guess who the number 1 player in merchandise sales in the league is.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Patrick Mahomes first. I know that's an obvious guess, but got an army of Swifties out there.
It's not Mahomes.
Is it a Chief?
Mahomes is not number 1. He's not Chief.
Okay, is it Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl champion?
No, Mahomes is 2, Hurts is 3.
Okay, so those are good guesses.
He is
Josh
he
Allen?
is a Super Bowl. No, not Josh Allen. But this player is a Super Bowl champion. He's currently a Super Bowl champion, like defending Super Bowl champion.
Defending Super Bowl. So, is it Saquon?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts' teammate. Saquon, yeah.
It's Saquon. Okay, well, good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. See, I was gonna say, like, being on the Madden cover might have helped, but I don't think they take those into consideration since technically it's
Probably
not
not.
like maybe people pre-order it. But no, Saquon Barkley, as far as like merchandise goes, is apparently the most popular player. Right, so Saquon is 1, Patrick Mahomes is 2, Jalen Hurts is 3, Jaden Daniels is 4.
He was going to be my next
CJ
guess if you hadn't
Stroud.
said it was an Eagle.
Yeah. CJ Stroud is 5, and then you have Josh Allen at 6.
Wow, he's a little low.
Yeah, that is a little low. There might also be some like fatigue factor to where it's like these players have been good for a while. So like I could see like how Saquon's kind of like the new flashy toy, and like everyone wants a Saquon jersey or a bobblehead
And
or
then you
whatever.
got Jaden up there too,
But,
rookie of the year.
right. And then you have like Aiden Hutchinson, Amon Ra, Micah Parsons, Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce.
Where's
yeah?
Knicks?
So
Because Knicks had a good rookie
oh,
season
no,
too.
he's not in the top 20. So
On
uh,
Denver.
let's see. Yeah, no, anyone from Denver? I don't think so.
I mean, he's really. It's him and PS2. Those are the big names out of Denver right now.
Right. This article just says top 20. Maybe there's like maybe there's another article that has like more players, but let's see, top 20. Yeah, this list only shows top 20, and this is the NFLPA, so I assume this is legit.
Probably.
Yeah, Bo Nix is not here. Caleb Williams is at number 13 overall, which is pretty good, I guess. I mean, I guess you have a lot of passionate Bears fans who that
That's
believe in
exactly
him.
what that must mean.
Yeah. Oh, you know who's pretty low? I mean, if we think Josh Allen is low,
Lamar?
Lamar Jackson is at number 18, yeah.
There's definitely some fatigue with him, I would imagine.
Yeah, at this point. Trying to see if there's anything else like really noteworthy. CMC's at 15, Joe Burrow's at 14, Jordan Love is at 12.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, something that's interesting that's how high CJ Stroud is. Which I mean, as a Texans fan, that's fine. Like, not that it like helps our team in any way, but it's like he did have a rough year, and you would have thought that all of his flash would have been from like last season. So like, I would be curious.
That's
Like,
still a
I
lot of
guess
support,
there's
I guess. That's good.
I think he's just a pretty popular player generally. Like a lot of people like him. He's just like I can understand that. We haven't been to the playoffs in 20. Y'all just made the playoffs though, right? In like 24.
Yeah,
Right? The Broncos?
but before that,
Yeah,
it had been a 9-year drought, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'm guessing
So
that's
no,
what
I
it
see what
means.
you're saying, though. Yeah, I got you. That makes sense. Yeah, the Broncos did have a pretty long drought since Peyton Manning.
Yeah, because
won
their
that last
destiny
Super
was
Bowl,
tied
it
with
had been,
ours. They
like-
beat us in that Super Bowl, and then we just both sucked for 9 years. Well, I guess we went to the playoffs in 2017 and lost in the first round, but other than that, it's just been losing season after losing season. But
Yeah,
yeah, they had a rough go
It is
after
like-
that Super Bowl.
right. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Not
that's
a lot
valid.
of
That's
national spotlight. That is valid. Yeah, I think
For a while,
I
if you
think
were
it's
in the
like,
spotlight, it was for the wrong reasons.
true.
But my thinking
That's
was
true.
a
I
lot
mean-
of Denver fans would be buying all the Bo Nix merch and everything just after that rookie season, all the hope for the future. So I thought he would be in the top 20. I would have thought he'd be above Caleb Williams at least, but
Yeah. I mean, it might also be like a market thing, just that Chicago's a bigger market than like Denver. And like Denver's one of the biggest cities in the world, but it's not like top 10, I don't think. Let me see. Biggest population cities in USA. Let's see. So like Chicago is at number 3, which is actually, I think I
Okay.
knew that, but it's still pretty high actually. I actually don't think most people realize that. Not Chicago. What's the other city? Denver. Denver's number 19. And for the Houston's at 4. Don't get me started on Russell Wilson.
yeah, we don't have to talk
Yeah,
about him
that
today.
That was an episode. Yep. A lot of hype that offseason. I remember, like everyone was like, "Oh, Russell Wilson, he's gonna save the
I really hope
Broncos."
that we weren't in on that.
Right. Yeah, it is
I
pretty,
feel like we were reasonable.
pretty. Yeah. You talking about us? Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I don't remember honestly what
I
we
don't.
thought, but
I can't imagine I was too hopeful. I mean, I probably thought they'd be a playoff team, but not like Super Bowl contenders.
I think most people thought they would be like pretty good under Russell Wilson. I guess I mean, no one could really predict that like he would just suck this much, right? So
No, he fell off, man. He's still a Hall of Famer, though. I don't care what all the haters are saying on the internet. He's probably a Hall of Famer at some point. Not first ballot, but he's gonna get in. He was
yeah.
great in Seattle.
That does actually remind me of another topic we could talk about is like Hall of Fame eligibility. Fame class 2025, I guess. So NFL. Is I actually did see like a clip about this earlier, like the players who are like eligible. Because I think like Drew Brees is eligible
First ballot,
now.
no doubt. He's in.
Yeah,
Don't care
yeah.
about anyone else on that list.
And like
He's in.
Eli Manning's still available as a Hall of Famer, and there was someone else like
Rivers?
so River. Yeah, I think Rivers is eligible.
I think
This
Rivers
is
is
like
a
I'm not really
Hall of
getting
Famer for sure. He's got the stats. I know he didn't win a
right.
Super Bowl, but he's getting in. He's like top 10 in all the passing statistics. I think.
Oh, it's the Hall of Fame. It is confused because I guess it's Hall of Fame next year, right? Because they wouldn't get enshrined technically till next year. Because I was looking up 2025, I was confused. Like, why would I recognize any of these names? Yeah, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Jason Witten, Frank Gore, and Philip Rivers are all eligible.
Oh man.
So
I mean, I think all of those
yeah,
guys are probably Hall of Famers at some point.
yeah, definitely Drew Brees, definitely Larry Fitzgerald.
I'm saying definitely
Jason
on
Witten.
Rivers.
Yeah, I don't know
I don't know
if
about
that's a
Witten.
popular opinion. I feel
Oh,
like a lot of like more casual fans would like probably like honestly, if you had asked me gut feeling, I probably would have been like probably not first ballot.
for
But
Rivers?
yeah.
I don't know first ballot,
Um
but I just mean he's getting in at some point pretty soon. He's not gonna have to wait a long
yeah,
time like Eli probably will.
right. No, he did have a really successful career.
With this
Really
class, he
long.
probably. Well, how many people get in first ballot?
That's a good question. I want to say I actually have no clue how many players can get first ballot Hall of Fame. Um, there's no set number. Um, I think because I was seeing something earlier, I was like, I think you have to select up to like four. You have to like have four Hall of Famer or something like that. I actually have no idea. That would be a good topic for the future, like when we have like where we're more prepared and like can think about it. So that's like a good like video or like
For
idea or
sure.
something like that. Just breaking that down. It's
Well,
like there are actually some like it's not like there's some like obscure names that are like like that didn't get in after all these years. When you have 13 kids, yeah. Well, he's a Hall of Famer in that regard as well. But you know, I did see there was something like one of his sons is like visiting Texas or something like that, and it's like yeah, get ready for that for the next
oh
20
man, we
years.
we've heard enough about Manning at Texas. We really got to go through Rivers at Texas too. Jeez,
I know, yeah. Like y'all, the what's his son's name? I forget. It's
I have no idea.
son Texas. I think it's Gunner Manning. Yeah, or Gunner not Manning. Gunner Rivers. So guys, the future of the NFL is not like Mahomes versus Allen or Mahomes versus Burrow or something. The future of the NFL is Arch Manning versus Gunner Rivers.
Honestly, why not? Why not? And then we'll get Jack Brady at some
Arch
point.
Manning, Gunner Rivers, and like Jack Brady.
Oh, I don't want that, but why not? Just sure. That would be pretty cool in
Yeah,
a way, but
that would be funny. It kind of would be funny. Like I don't even know what to. It would be funny. Like these legends, like their kids, like being like I don't know. Like if I like I don't know if I want Arch. I don't want Arch Manning on the Colts. Like we don't need. We're good. We don't need to go through that again.
no, definitely
like
not.
him dominating on the Colts was a little bit before my time, but I do feel the pain. Like it had to be like Peyton Manning just torching us every time we played. It's just so rough. Like I
Drew
can
Brees to
imagine what like
Carolina.
yeah. Drew Brees has a son, I think, doesn't he? Like
Yeah,
yeah, I wonder if he's like gonna be Drew Brees' son. He has a son named Balin. I have no idea. Balin
Balin
Breeze about
Breeze.
to
Wow,
dominate the NFC
what a
South
name.
for years to come. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't
nice.
know, but I don't know if
Yeah,
I'm gonna say Rivers is first ballot or not. It really depends on, I guess, how many people get to be first ballot. But him not having a ring really makes that harder to make him first ballot. But
true.
he's definitely in at some point.
Would anyone's son surpass them?
Not Manning,
I assume you're
I'm
talking
gonna
about
say.
like top guys, because like technically, like Peyton Manning surpassed Arch Manning. I'm not sure how good Arch Manning was. I'm not sure like who was better, like as far as like legacy wise, saying like Arch Manning or Eli Manning. I
Arch would have
assume.
to be like a top three quarterback of all time to pass Peyton. 'Cause I think
Right. So no,
we're
he's
all
not better than Peyton. Or Archie Manning is what I meant. But
yeah
we all know what I mean.
yeah, but
So
Yeah,
Archie Manning. Oh, his win loss record was horrible.
really.
He played for a long time, but his win loss record is 35 and 101 and three ties. He
Wow,
tied three games, which is actually wild. So
that's an
I guess he
impressive stat.
wasn't.
Yeah,
So
okay,
he
he could
just
easily
played. Let's see how
surpass
many.
Archie then. Well, not easily, but
Yeah. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He played 10 full seasons and another few as a backup, I guess. He played 10 seasons, just had like all these losing records.
hmm.
His best career record was 8-8.
Yikes. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Arch.
so
There's a good chance he surpasses his father. I wouldn't be surprised.
well, that'd be his grandfather, right? Because
Oh, okay.
Arch's father is Cooper.
Right. Yeah,
Guys,
I
I
mixed
was
that
just
up.
wondering. But no, you're good. The reason I brought that up is I was wondering who was better, Archie or Eli. But definitely
Yeah.
Eli's career was like way more successful. Yeah, 'cause I honestly, if you had like told me, I would have thought like Archie Manning, like he was like I don't know, I guess he had a solid career, but like I guess not. He like I know passer rating wasn't like that what we're like lower back then. His passer rating was 67. 125 touchdowns. Well, yeah, he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. 125
Oof,
touchdowns, 173 interceptions. Which,
that's
to be
rough.
fair, I think Terry Bradshaw, or is it Joe Namath, threw more interceptions, I think, than touchdowns. I think it's like Terry Bradshaw wasn't that good statistically.
I honestly don't know, man. I really don't.
I wouldn't know. Did you see my short that I made about like blind ranking Hall of Famers?
I don't think I saw that one yet. No, I watched all the videos and
It is
forgot
kind of
about the shorts.
it's all good. It is kind of funny because like and I kind of played to the memes. I was just like just like I don't know much about because I literally forgot that Randy Moss had a whole career before New England. Like I literally was just playing. I made the edit. Like I think I said something to the effect of he didn't have a great start to his career. And then I just put a screenshot of like his numbers like in Minnesota, like yeah, Daniel's a confirmed casual. So like, and then
Oof.
like someone in the comments is like, why talk about something you don't know about? And I'm like, bro, it's like,
We're
it's
just
all
having
funny,
fun. It's
right?
football
So
for
like,
fun. We just talk football for fun. That's
yeah, that was the point. It's like, yeah, because I think it was Brett Favre first, so I was like, let's put him at 3. I don't know, because part of the challenge of the Hall of Famers is like there's so many of them. I have no idea who's coming next. Then it was like Randy Moss, and I'm like, I think I put him at 4. I put him below Brett Favre. Which probably he's actually probably a little higher. I don't know.
I'm
It's
not
also hard
sure.
to compare
Favre at
cross
least won a ring.
positions.
I don't think Moss got to.
Yeah.
For whatever that's worth. I know
But it's
that's not
tough.
everything, but
Moss was a dominant receiver,
one of
and
the
then it
greatest
was like
receivers of all time.
right, and then it was Ray Lewis, and I knew Ray Lewis was really good in Baltimore, so I put him ahead of both Favre and Moss. And then it had Tony Gonzalez, and I'm like, Okay, he was very good, but I don't think he was better than like Randy Moss and like Brett Favre.
Yeah,
So I
that's
put him at
one of the
5.
best
And then
tight
the
ends of
last
all time. Is probably below one of the best receivers of all time.
right. So then the one slot was open, which was
Oh
given
boy.
to Troy Polamalu. And I'm like,
Well, I
okay,
mean,
fine.
okay, sure, why not?
Somehow made it another Steelers episode, right? But
Of
anyway,
course,
yeah,
everything's a
yeah.
Steelers
So
episode now.
right, it is kind of funny. Back then, as long as you didn't get CT, you were successful. Yeah, that's true. There were like quarterbacks who had like horrible statistics, but still like or horrible looking on paper, but it was like yeah. Terry Bradshaw threw 212 touchdowns and 210 interceptions with a quarterback rating of 70. So you know, so
Is he
yeah,
a Hall of Fame?
yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a 4-time Super Bowl champion. So
that's what it was. Yeah, I was wondering.
yeah, yep,
I didn't
yep,
realize he won that many rings, but yeah, Pittsburgh owes that man a
yeah.
lot.
What's that?
I said Pittsburgh owes that man a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Yup, yup, yup.
All right. So
All
is that all the
right.
topics for
And
today?
that was all that I had outlined, I believe. Unless you want to talk about Joe Flacco's disdain for TikTok dances, but
I mean, all I'm
I
gonna say is I
assume that's
agree with
not
him.
really.
So bring the hate if you
Yeah,
have the hate. I whatever. I'm with
I have
Flacco.
never, I've never like opened or made a TikTok account, and I don't intend to anytime
The
soon.
only one I
So
have is the
yeah,
Football for Fun account that we just forgot existed. Pretty sure it doesn't exist. That's
that's
what we're
fair.
going with. Who needs it? So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I would never just like make a personal one to do like goofy things on.
I
Like,
could never.
really? I mean, I do like understand to an extent that there is an entertainment component which is kind of like kind of evolving. Like, like I'm sure there are things that like we see as like fun entertainment now, maybe like reality TV shows. Like I'm sure like maybe our grandparents would like cringe or something like that, but like at some point it just gets ridiculous. Like, really? But
Honestly, if it's
um
your enjoyment, if you really like that stuff, then you do you, I guess. But not for me personally. I don't care. I don't understand it. Never gonna.
yep, I don't care either. Let's see. I'm just gonna scour through some like dumb or random topics we could talk about. Deontay Johnson on his 2024 season that saw him play for 3 different teams. Everyone's gonna have their opinions. Like, yeah, I think everyone has an opinion that you suck. Um,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm the only one in that room who really knows what be going on. Last year's last year. I'm trying to change that narrative. Yeah, you suck, buddy.
Well,
You
you were
won a
a
playoff
locker room
game in
cancer in
Houston.
Carolina, dude. We got rid of you, our top receiver at the time, and we were immediately better. So use that information how you will.
But yeah,
He was a problem here.
for some reason we picked you up, and then we win a playoff game against the Chargers, and you throw a fit. Like, really? Like, come on.
It's
Uh,
wild.
oh, I think Bryce Young will be a top 10 quarterback this
I
year.
approve. I approve. I absolutely approve that. I don't know if I'm in agreement or not. I mean, I'm trying to play it safe, all right. I'm scared. But top 16 at
He
least.
did play. He played really well down the stretch.
He
Like,
did.
I have to say, I watched those games against like the Eagles and things like that. He played really
Did you
well.
see the game against the Falcons though? Because that was the one that sold me going into the offseason because he had no weapons. Chubo's out. Chuba Hubbard is out, so not much of a run game. We might have had Thielen that game. Actually, I'm gonna have to go check. But we had a lot of guys out. Our top 10 offensive line was pretty injured as well, and then somehow we win
Uh-huh.
44-38 against the Falcons and end their season. So, well, their season would have ended anyway, but it's more fun to say we
Right.
ended it. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that game, but him balling out in that game was
Yeah.
what convinced me. Like he's the guy next year at least. I'm in.
Yeah. For sure. One thing that would be fun. Now I don't know technically like if we could do it like because like like there's copyright thing. We're small enough to where it probably wouldn't matter, but also you don't want. But it's like basically like having a like reacting to like Bryce Young highlights or just any highlights in general. But it would be fun
That would be
if
cool.
we just like put on YouTube, just watch Bryce Young highlights and just like that would be pretty
We're
fun.
gonna have to look into that. I have to look into that. I will say one of the
Yeah.
reasons I'm so hesitant to just be all in on Bryce is he only threw for more than 2 touchdowns one time. It was in that game against Atlanta. And he's yet to throw for 300 yards. Oh, he didn't throw for 300 yards last year. His rookie season, he did it once, I believe, against the Packers, against Joe Barry's
Mhm.
defense, which was known for being just terrible. So I'm trying not to read into that too much. But even last year down the stretch when he was playing well, he was playing well. That's about it. It wasn't like he was elite or
Yeah.
great or anything, but he did what he had to do. He got the job done. We won. He came back and we won 4 of the games that he started. So after he got benched, let me just count real quick how many games that was. We played 10 games with him post benching, and we won 4 of those games. So we went 4-6 when he became the starter again.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good, honestly. I know we finished 5-12, but I don't know.
Yeah. That seems fair. I probably would just struggle to put him in top 10 or predict that just because, like, it's going to be hard to, like, have him ahead of, like, some other, like, guys I would have in, like, the top 10.
Yeah,
Like,
we still have
I
to
would have a
see
hard
it.
time
He has to
putting.
prove it next year. He's only had a few
I
games
bet
that
if
were
he
actually
plays,
good.
if he plays that well, he'll definitely be worthy of that sort of distinction. So, I could see it. I'm not necessarily predicting it. I still kind of think that like he might struggle a little bit more than we think necessarily. Like I think he's a solid franchise guy. Like I see him maybe as like a without injuries, like a Tua type maybe, to where he's like solid, but like you just don't know if you can like necessarily win a lot of playoff games with him. But that's kind
I
of
just want
Tua's
to
a
get
weird
to the
comparison.
playoffs. I don't care. I don't even need the playoffs this year. I want a winning record. It's been too long. Just let us have a winning record and then we can worry about the playoffs. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Speaking of number one overall picks at quarterback, I saw this thing. Apparently, Cam Ward completed 20 of 21 passes during practice, including 18 consecutive completions. So probably a non-story. It's just like whatever. But
Not gonna
you
read
know,
into it. Not gonna read into it. Just good for him though. Glad practice is
yeah,
going well.
yep. He's better than Tua. I mean, if Tua's gonna be concussed every other game, I'd probably
Yeah,
agree with that.
I
Like,
think Bryce is actually
you have
above
to play
Tua in your
games,
quarterback
but,
rankings. So
did I have him sorry, what's that?
you had Bryce above Tua in your quarterback rankings. I'm pretty sure.
Did I? I guess I did. I think I did put Tua up. I just don't know if I put him ahead of Bryce. I moved Tua up a few spots because I was like, okay, he actually wasn't out for that many games, and he does play well when he's on the field. But I actually am. Let me check.
And the thing with Tua also is he's got all the weapons in Miami. So meanwhile, Bryce only had he had a good running back last year. Not much at receiver though. I'm excited this
Okay,
year
I
though.
did.
I really am for a receiver room.
I moved Tua up. I had Tua at 19 and Bryce at 23.
That's a miss, man. That's a miss.
He can prove. Yeah, he can prove me wrong.
Yeah,
I'm here for
it
it.
all comes down to year 3 with Bryce, and if he fails, then fine. We'll trade or not trade. We'll draft somebody. There are a lot of quarterbacks I like, so yes, this is
Yeah.
a weekly podcast, usually around the same time every Wednesday night. So if you want to come back in the future, we'll be more entertaining in the future when we have better topics to cover. I'm sure.
Yeah,
We're
it's a
peak
lot
off-season.
like this. Yeah, it's a lot like this to where we just kind of talk. It's just like two guys talking about football. It's football for fun because one, we just like the F sort of like just kind of like I don't know what you call it, but football for fun is a fun sort of title. But also, we're just two guys. Like we don't do this professionally or anything like that.
Not yet, but if
We
you want to
just
help us
fire,
out, that'd be
it's like,
great. Let's go
oh
pro.
yeah. But if you're not already subscribed, you should do that. But also, we have a Discord, which you can join, just talk about football, and we also post updates there. So
We also talk about the
you're
most
already
random
there.
things at times too. It's a very interesting server sometimes.
Yeah, currently and I was kind of realizing this. Oh, did you subscribe? Nice.
Hey,
So
thank
are
you
we?
very
Yeah,
much.
we're at 108. There we go.
Hey, we
We
appreciate
celebrate
that.
when we get a subscriber because it's like we're still at the point where it's like if we notice like a one subscriber jump and it's like we have a celebration.
Now, we
So
notice a change
nice.
and we just send each other the messages to update on Discord, and we're just so excited.
Yeah, and like one day, like I think yesterday or the day before, we got like 4 subscribers in a day, and it was like an absolute blast.
It's
Like,
a new record, most in a day for us, probably.
yeah, that was absolutely insane.
Oh, I think we lost you. I'm on the wrong side of the layout. I'm on the Texans side. I don't like
Oh,
that.
that's weird. Oh, that uh, there we
Please come
go.
back.
My
No, that
what
like.
happened to my camera? There we
Hey, there we
go.
go. That was
Nice.
weird.
Yeah, I opened Discord another tab, which I think kind of messed it up. But
That like it flipped my camera too for some reason. It was reversed. I have no idea why.
yeah, it would do that when I was doing like the draft as well.
See, this is why we haven't
Cats or
gone pro
dogs?
yet.
Right, exactly. Cats or dogs?
I'm a dog guy. I say that as the Panthers fan here. I like dogs. To be fair though, I got people in
Yeah,
my family allergic to cats, so I've not really ever given them a chance. But oh well, maybe someday.
yeah. Hey, Belle. I have a dog here. I'm not my dog, but I'm like dog saying, "Hey, Belle, come here, come here."
Okay, we got to get the dog on
Oh,
now.
he's being. Yep. Hey.
Hey,
Oh.
there we go. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it is hard. Well, because like my family are actually cat people. Like they have a bunch of cats, but I dog sit a lot, so I'm around dogs a lot. Like I don't know. Um, it's tough. But I don't know. I just can't tell. It's literally like 50-50 for me, but like probably lean dog, honestly.
Dogs are more fun. Also, cats are probably more my vibe though. They just do nothing for the most part, and I like doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like cats you like kind of may know a little bit more what you're gonna get, whereas dogs have like all types of personalities.
Just depends on the
Um,
dog.
like the two dogs I'm watching, like they're two dogs, Belle and then this other dog, Lila. Lila's a little bit bigger dog, and she's cool, but also sometimes she can be mean. Whereas Belle is like, as you can see, just like very like sociable. Like if I'm like, hey Belle, like if she wants to be around me, which is always cool.
That's
Come
fun.
here, come here. Hey, why don't you stay here? You can be our third guest. You know,
Special
Devin and
guest.
Socks. You know, they don't need to be on. We just have you on.
Oh yeah. We can't have a
But
better
then
guest
I
than a
guess she'll
dog.
get
Let's
bored and
be
just
real.
leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good question though.
Nice.
Cats or dogs? That's
Yeah.
a classic one. Usually people say dogs, I feel like. I haven't met a ton of cat people personally, but I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder what the statistics are. Do most people like dogs or cats? I wonder what the internet says. Yeah, most people like dogs. Like
Hmm.
some polls said 74-41, which actually what I guess it doesn't really add up, but maybe
Yeah,
some people
what?
say both. Yeah.
74 to
This AI
41.
thing says for example, a poll showed that 74% of people like dogs a lot compared to 41% who like cats a lot. I guess people have the option to say both, which I guess is understandable. It does seem like most people are dog people. Is that a lab? Uh oh, I don't know. I don't know dog breed. I guess. I mean, lab dog.
Kind of looked like a lab,
Uh,
I thought. But also,
no,
I'm not the
she
most
doesn't look like a
knowledgeable.
lab. I don't know. I don't know what type of dog. I actually don't know what type they are. The other dog actually looks a little bit more like a lab. Um, I don't know. Hey, Lila. Yeah, she normally doesn't like respond. Uh, I,
Good try.
whatever. Yeah.
Well, I don't think I've ever had a lab, but I got a golden retriever, so he's a lot of fun, very energetic, as you might imagine. I don't know if you've ever been
Yeah.
around a golden retriever, but they're very friendly.
That's cool. Yeah, for sure.
Can be. But I
Yeah.
would like
Now
that about cats, though.
we
They're
have our
more
clip.
chill.
Yeah. I was just saying we have our clip now. We can just put a video, football for fun, discusses cats or dogs.
We're gonna go viral over this for sure. Our
Oh,
totally based
totally. I
opinions
mean,
on the
it's all
dog
like
versus
the cute
cats.
cat and dog videos that like go viral. Maybe that's just what we should do. Like, it's football for fun, but we just show
Let's just
animals
crop
and then it's
everything
weird.
out except for the dog. Can we do that? I mean, I
Yeah,
feel like that's the secret to success here.
Totally. Yep.
All right, good stuff.
Very good stuff.
All right, before we wrap up though, because I'm sensing we're close to the end here. Just
Mhm.
any other questions from the chat? Because we do like Q&A. We got a what do we call it? A mailbox? Is that what you called it in our server?
Yeah, we
Mailbag?
did try to start a mailbox, but no one really asked questions. So,
Yeah.
but we will try to, incorporate just like general like chat fans, whatever, just like asking questions.
Yeah,
So
we
we're
like to
always
be
open to.
interactive here at Football for Fun. It's a lot more fun for us, and we hope it's more fun for the audience. So we try our best there.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
So before we end, we like to ask if there are any questions from the chat, and if not, I mean, hey, we will be back at it presumably same time next week. I imagine maybe a little earlier the next week. I
Yep.
don't know. We kind of take it week by week, but usually it's around the same time on Wednesdays. We kind of settled into Wednesdays being our day. So,
Yeah.
and we're getting into the groove of posting videos, I guess, every day or close, nearly every day, every other day. Got some shorts.
Yeah, I've been trying to put out at least a short every year, or not every year.
Yeah.
Every.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hopefully, but every week or every, not even week,
My
every
goodness. Get
day, or
tired.
at least something. Yeah. Rogers. Yeah, we did discuss that earlier, so I would encourage you to. I have a video out about it. Maybe a couple, I guess, technically at this point, but
We
I
both
have a
like the
video
move,
out. I
though.
also have my quarterback rankings, and we also did talk about earlier. But we do like, we think that like Rogers, like I think he's the 17th best quarterback in the league, and but I think if the Steelers do get the 17th best quarterback, then they'll be in a decent position to like go 10-7 and get bounced in the first round,
Yeah,
which is
my
about where they're
realistic
at.
guess is he's going to be better for them than Russ or Pickett or Fields were. So they'll probably get their annual 9-win season, maybe a little better. I don't know, but it's
Yeah,
not going to change the landscape of the NFL most likely. But it's a smart move for them for now. But we want to see what they
yeah,
do
that's
long term.
fair.
That's what we're more interested in because this is nothing long term, most likely. So that's where we're
Right.
at.
Yep.
It's a quick summary of a much longer discussion earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
17th, that's too high. Ooh.
Yeah,
I mean, fair.
I think he's. I think he still has some gas left in the tank. I think in New York he actually played pretty well down the stretch, which I don't think a lot of people realize because he was on the Jets, which no one watched. But I think the way I kind of look at it is like this could actually be good to kind of do. I just try to think to myself like if I have a quarterback at a certain ranking, I just try to think about like wrong video, but basically like would I rather have this quarterback or Aaron Rodgers? Like the quarterbacks I had below him, Joe Flacco, I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson, I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers. Jackson Dart, Justin Fields, Kirk Cousins, JJ McCarthy, Cam Ward, Drake May. So maybe if you think that like you'd rather have like Drake May or like Cam Ward or like Bryce Young, I could understand that. Caleb Williams. I could see that. I mean, if you're projecting that like he's really washed and just gonna like suck, I could totally understand that.
It just depends on your perspective, but like I would take Drake May ahead of Aaron Rodgers right now because I'm a big Drake May believer. I take Bryce because obviously I'm a Bryce guy. I as much as I can
Yeah.
be anyway. But I don't know. He's not terrible. You imagine he was average probably. How about a nickel corner video? I'm certainly not knowledgeable enough
Oh.
to do that, but
That'd be a little bit nerdy for our brand. I mean, not
yeah,
necessarily
because
something
we're
we're
not nerdy
opposed
totally.
to, but
We
yeah,
would
talking about
probably have to
corners,
do
I feel
some
like already is just
research.
yeah, I'd have to actually, just yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but just
Yeah,
yeah, do spit
we're
out
receptive to
content
ideas.
ideas. 'Cause, like,
So
yeah, in the off season especially, we're like looking for stuff. We'll probably do a lot of like rankings and like I was even mentioning earlier, like we should like talk about the Hall of Fame class, blind rankings, like
a
maybe
little bit of
like a
everything, really.
there's one that ChatGPT recommended, which I'm still want to do. It's just a lot of work, which is if every head coach were a fast food chain. Like, I think
Yeah,
that would be pretty
yeah. I've seen
funny.
some of the stuff that you came up with. You got to do that at some point. You gotta. hold you to
Yeah,
that.
I think before the season, I'll definitely. It's just so it's hard to do every single coach because there are some like obscure ones. Just some of them are just so random. Just like yeah,
Yeah,
I do still plan to do
it doesn't
that.
have to be every coach, I guess. Just some of them, noteworthy ones.
Yeah, maybe just like the no because I'm just like who would Brian
That's
Callahan
exactly
be?
who I was
I'm
gonna
just like
say. Do people even know who that is?
I don't even know if I care all that much. But I think there are some like pretty good ones. But yeah, I'll get to that for sure.
Yep. I wouldn't be opposed to like a cornerback ranking video. I don't know if we could do something in depth since, I mean, truthfully, I'm not knowledgeable of corners. I just know J.C. Horn is really good and underappreciated. That's all I got. And PS2 is probably the
Yeah,
best in the league. Uh, I know names.
yeah,
I know who's supposed to be good. I know Derek Stingley is supposedly one of the best in the league. I couldn't tell you much about him though, so that's where I am.
yeah. Even being a Texans fan, a Derek Stingley fan, I couldn't give you some like comprehensive breakdown as to like why I think he's one of the best corners in the league. But like, I mean, although you do see him play and he'll like have some cool interceptions and just like
Sure,
lock down, like you can just see it sometimes.
it's true. Sometimes the guys just pop on the film. So on the film, that's all it takes sometimes. But
Yep.
I don't know. Punter, who? Ooh, I have no idea.
Hunter.
Oh, that's another. I feel like there are so many positions that you and I just. How do we even rank that? You know?
Yeah, punter. Like, who's the best punter in the league? Is it, like AJ Cole or something like that?
I have no idea. I don't even know who my
NFL
team's punter
punt.
is right now, to be honest. We had Johnny Hecker for a bit, and then we let him go in free agency.
Yeah, I think the Texans punter is Tommy Townsend, who is the Chiefs punter. Let me see if anyone has like NFL punter rankings.
We're gonna do some
I
research
feel
on
like actually
this,
that
and we're gonna bring punter
I think
awareness
that
to the
video
league.
actually would do pretty well just because like punters are just funny to talk about. Um,
We could do kickers too.
but
I can name kickers.
yeah, let's see. Wait, really? Like this AI overview says in 2025, some top-ranked punters in the NFL. I've never heard of these names are Jeremy Crawshaw, James Burnip, Eddie Zapilik, Kay Kroger, and Alex
All right, look up Crawshaw
Mastormano.
real
Like
quick. Are we sure this is NFL? Because I think there was a punter coming out of college who's had that name. I might be wrong.
okay, he got drafted this year. He's Broncos punter actually. He did get
Oh,
drafted by
there
the
you go. Yeah,
Broncos.
he was like when we were doing mock drafts. That was I think he was the Florida punter, Florida State. So that was the top punter on the ADP.
Yeah. Um, some top punters from like last season. This is going as far as like
True,
average.
they do
I mean
make or
that's
break the
true.
game sometimes.
They do impact a game more than people
Special teams
realize.
are so much more important than people realize, but we
Yes.
just don't know a
Cameron
lot.
Johnson, Jack Fox, yeah, AJ Cole, Ryan Stonehouse. One name I don't know if how good he is, but like Matt Ariza, probably one of the more famous punters of the last few years for
For reasons.
reasons. For reasons, yes. But let's just say like yeah, I assume he's a good guy, but definitely whatever the reasons that came out I think were proven false if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right,
He's
but
back.
I can't confirm or
Yeah,
deny.
he was on the Bills. He was kind of like he was like brilliant on the Bills, and he got cut for those reasons. I think as a rookie or second year player, and then reasons turned out to turn to his favor, and now he's on the Chiefs.
Because of course he is. That would
Yep,
happen.
that totally would happen.
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty open to making ranking videos for all the positions. We would just also have to do some research to, in the case of punters at least, learn the names of the players. I mean no disrespect to the punters,
Yeah,
but they're not talked about much, and I don't know.
wasn't you in a Law and Order episode? Are you talking about who's you? Law and Order episode? Who? Me? You?
I would
I don't
assume
know.
you, but were
Well,
you
I don't
secretly
know
starring
what
in an
context.
episode, or you just
Oh,
appearing?
wait, we have to stop? Why is the cat out of the bag now? Like, come on, don't spill my secrets.
Oh, whoops, my bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, it's
It
this
is
guy's
bad.
fault. He like, yeah, just.
That's funny.
No one's watching it. Wait, yeah, no
Wasn't
one
he?
sees.
Okay. Wasn't he?
Oh, he. Oh, yeah, maybe.
Okay. Well, you
I
added
guess I
yourself
don't know. I
then
mean,
because you've already said you were in an episode. That's what we're going with now.
oh,
Whoops.
yeah. Well, no comment there.
I never watched Law and Order, so I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't either. But it would
I'm not
kind of make
much of a
sense, I
TV
guess.
guy. I'm a football guy, you know?
I'm that way too. I'm not really a TV or movie guy, honestly. Like I just like I guess movies I don't really have the patience for that much. And TV shows are just kind of like dumb in my opinion. I'm
They
also a
can
football
be.
guy. I'm like football, YouTube. That's kind of my entertainment. Instagram reels, I guess, but
Yeah, basically
like
same.
shorts. Yeah, yeah. I think we're in the same boat there. But
For the most part, yeah.
yeah,
Sounds like it.
I mean, if you have any like show recommendations, I'm just talking to chat generally. I'm never opposed to sort of like listening to them, but but yeah,
Yeah, pretty much. Uh, yeah. All right, we hit the 2 hour mark, which is impressive given the limited options of things to talk about. So
yeah,
this is probably a good stopping point for tonight, and we'll get back to it next week. I'm sure we'll have plenty of videos coming out between now and the next stream, some shorts. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I mean, I gotta catch up since I took a few weeks off, and now you are doing all the content. So
yeah.
I gotta
Gotta
relieve you of some
pick
of the
up some of the
burden.
slack.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, you're good.
pick up
But
the
yeah,
slack.
though that would be great. Yeah, well, I think it's a good stopping place. I thought it was a pretty good episode, given that's just kind of like it's kind of it's off season. I mean, maybe the peak boringness of the off season is yet to come. I'm not exactly sure, but pretty successful episode. It was fun.
Absolutely, and it's good to be back. I was only gone a couple weeks, but it's still good to be back. So yeah,
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have you back. I'm glad in a way it worked out that way because like I had one solo episode and got extremely lonely, so
yeah, that's
glad we could make
fair.
it work.
It might have been a long off season without a co-host.
Yeah, might have been. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you, especially King Razy, for subbing and for joining us in the chat.
Yeah,
Really
absolutely
appreciate your
appreciate that for
presence.
sure.
And yeah, have a good rest of your evening, good week. Watch out for our videos, or be on the lookout, I guess, for our videos. Jeremy Chin leaving. Wait, is that breaking, or is that just like what's that?
Well, he left us last off season for I want to say Washington, or was it Vegas?
Yeah,
I feel like he and Luvu both went to Washington because we didn't use him. He wasn't being used in our defense. It was right for him to leave. I didn't like it, but
yeah.
that kind of sucked.
Nah, I don't think we're really.
I was a big
Yeah,
fan of Jeremy Chin when he was here. I wish he had gotten to do more, but sometimes that's just how it
yeah.
goes.
That is how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Yep.
Life of a Panthers
He's on the
fan.
Raiders apparently.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
the Raiders. Okay. Someone else went to
yeah.
Washington with Luvu then, I think. I don't know who.
Well,
It
he was
Joey
on the
Sly
Commanders
was the
last
kicker.
year. Ah,
Oh, he
okay.
was?
Fun.
So he left
He was on the
Washington?
Commanders. Yeah, he left Washington after 1 year and then went to Las Vegas.
It's interesting. So we kind of swapped
Yeah.
safeties over a couple of years because we got Morrig from the Raiders, and they ended up with Chin. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've made peace with Chin no longer being in Carolina. I'm okay with our safeties. I'm okay with Morrig. I don't know who else is starting at safety. It's a little concerning, but it's probably fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
got you.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Well, thank you everyone who watched. Thank you for everyone who was chatting tonight. Mostly King Rays. Really appreciate you hanging out with us. Hope you had a good time here, and we really appreciate you subscribing. We're getting closer to 200. That's our next goal. So going
There
up
we
by the
go.
hundreds, hopefully. So we're gonna keep grinding. We're gonna keep
Yep.
working hard. We want to hit, what did we say, 500 by the end of the year, or are we pushing for 1,000?
Yeah, that's a good question. I might have said 1,000 loosely at some point. I think if we do get 500, that would be amazing. But
Oh yeah,
honestly, like, yeah, if we get 500, Yeah, I think 500 would be good, but if we get like
500
a
is our
thousand by like,
safe goal, but then our ambitious goal could be 1,000.
I feel like definitely we can get 1,000 like this time next year.
If we put in the
And like
work, yeah,
500. Yeah,
it's
true.
doable.
Yep.
Hopefully.
I mean, we're getting up and like we're not losing subscribers, which is good. So just
That is a
just
good
gotta
side.
just gotta keep it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. And just be on the lookout for our weekly live streams, for our videos, shorts, things like that. And you know, this is football for fun saying peace out.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Y'all take care. See you all next time.